On my count. 3, 2, 1.
Go. Hello everyone and welcome to the GoldenEye Watch-Along. And hello to Switzerland, where my dear friend Yannick is sitting, and you have a mine.
Yes.
A mine.
GoldenEye remote mine.
Oh, very, very neat.
Yeah.
Do you want to blow something up tonight?
Sure as hell the stream, yes.
The stream? No, please don't. Hello, everyone. There are a lot of people in the chat, and both of us will be having a keen eye on the chat room for anything you would like to talk to us about regarding GoldenEye, regarding the film music, whatever you can think of when we're watching together. We have about 15 or 14 minutes to go until we will start the film on our mark. And as I wrote previously, we have the 129-minute version of GoldenEye, which is the Blu-ray. The DVD has 124. So if you have the DVD, you will be a lot faster, and scenes that we talk about will have already happened. I think that's the right way around.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yannick, what are you having tonight? What are you drinking?
Just a standard cup of coffee and, a little bit of water. So, pretty standard. What about you?
Immensely exciting. So you're living the high spy life.
Yeah, rock and roll life, yeah.
That's really fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually made a vodka martini, and we will experience life. How much of that I can stomach. There's a whole shaker full, and I've got nice olives here, everything I need. And let's see, by the time we have the open discussion at 10:30 when the film is finished, yes, I might not be able to discuss anything.
Well, then I do a monologue. That's not a problem.
Let's see. Do you have anybody in the chat that you know?
Yes, all of them. They are very, very loyal friends and followers. You know, Martin, Osmund, Peter Büttner. No?
Right, Peter.
Hi, Peter.
Hello.
Martin, yeah.
Yeah, a few Germans in there. Of course, we decided to do that in English because you can reach more people, obviously, and it is best enjoyed in English. Peter says, "Hi guys, hi there." Martin says, "I had an incident in the morning today. Went to make myself a coffee and accidentally put in barbecue seasoning instead of cinnamon." Why would you put cinnamon in your coffee?
Wow.
Well, it's not Christmas yet.
Yeah.
But okay.
Well, it's never.
Well, maybe it's a thing. I don't know. I didn't try it.
Well, it's nice around Christmas time, but that's about to happen anyway. So.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Christmas is almost around the corner.
Yeah.
So, what are you most looking forward to for this GoldenEye watch-along? I mean, you must have seen GoldenEye thousands of times.
Yeah, at least. Yeah. Well, basically the whole package. You know, it's great to see it. I mean, we're both huge GoldenEye fans, but we've never watched it together. So to watch it together and to talk about it, and as well with with the community, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. And how about you?
What I'm looking forward to is a lot of anecdotes that we're going to share, a lot of trivia, maybe not everybody knows. We have a few behind the scenes images in there, so I don't know what your setup is, guys. Maybe you have your telly in front of you and you have a tablet or a laptop. What you will see on the laptop or the tablet where you have the stream, there will be behind the scenes images corresponding to the scene you are watching while we are talking about it. I picked some of them out that are quite nice, and some of them are quite rare, so maybe you see them for the first time. And they will give us a few talking points, definitely, and just to spice it up a bit, so that it's not just talking. It will, however, be a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk all the way through your film experience, but I mean, I experienced that myself. That's what you do at home when you watch Bond films with somebody. You say, "Oh, this scene was shot right there, and here they used this and this model." So, and we all know GoldenEye. I guess there is nobody who doesn't know GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's right. And perhaps it is important to say at this point that also people who can't watch it now, or people miss parts of this live stream, or even if they watch it now, the whole thing, To watch it afterwards is maybe still interesting to you because even without the movie, there's a lot of anecdotes, and presumably you've seen GoldenEye one or multiple times, so you're still going to be able to take away a lot from it just from our anecdotes and talking.
Yeah, exactly. And this live stream will go into my regular videos on the channel. So every time you want to hop in and experience that thing we do tonight again, just grab your Blu-ray and start the video. So then you have, I don't know, 3 hours of whatever.
Entertainment.
Whatever this will be, entertainment. Yeah, so we call it entertainment. Okay. Yannick,
Yes?
for some of the people who are new to the chat or don't know us very well, can you tell us something about yourself, what you do, where you come from?
So I work at the local radio station here in Switzerland, and I also compose music. I've been doing that for about 15 to 16 years, mostly movies, commercials, games, and of course, very much in the spy business, so to speak. So a lot of projects that has something to do with spy. We've worked together a couple of times with video productions, tribute trailers, and so on. And that's basically my background, very short and brief. And how about yourself?
Well, I've been a Bond fan since GoldenEye. I don't know, was it your first film?
No, actually, I joined later on. My first one was The World Is Not Enough, that I really consciously took in.
Yeah, okay. So my first Bond film was GoldenEye. That's how I became a fan. And as some of you might know, it was an accident because the projector in the other cinema had broken down and we could watch GoldenEye for free for that ticket, my mother and me. And in my professional life, when I'm not doing Bond stuff, I'm an English teacher. And I go to the homes of my students and teach them. At the moment, we have the fall holidays, the autumn holidays. So I can do this nice little thing. And on the side, my hobby is training horses and doing this Bond thing.
Yeah.
Which is really a lot of work in the year because there's always something happening with Bond, and that's rather nice. And doing this together with you is great. We work great together.
Yeah.
I love our company together. And I remember we accidentally watched GoldenEye once together via Skype. So.
Yes.
Do you remember?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, and that was part of the idea to do it with other Bond fans together. Yes. And we are now 24 people. Oh, now we're 23. Too bad. One hopped the ship. And the film is about to start in 7 minutes or something?
Yeah.
We wanted to have 15 minutes of time for everybody to get their Blu-rays ready, DVDs ready, get a drink and whatever. Mm-hmm. It's nice to talk before a film. I just read somebody in the chat. Who was it? When can we get back to the movie, please, Maria? We'll come there. We'll get there in a couple of minutes. Hello from Scotland, I read. Andy? Do you know Andy? Andy 1962?
Not directly.
Hello, Andy.
Hi,
Hello
Andy.
to Scotland. Can you do a Scottish accent, Yannick?
Oh, please. Oh, my goodness. I just remember a small anecdote when we were, what was this, last year when this event took place from the Swiss Bond Club, with Lynn Holly Johnson.
Yes.
This was such a fun, and you know what? This pops in my head. Probably once a week at least, because when the waiter came to us and they sort of they put a little container on the table, and then he lifted. I think you or I lifted it, and we both simultaneously said, "Oh, butter."
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, butter.
Butter.
Yeah, it was sort of half Scottish. So
yeah.
My Scottish is not the best. We took it largely from Austin Powers' Fat Bastard.
Yes.
So that's where we took it from.
And a very, very bad Sean Connery impression.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
I'm not the best at it, but trying my best.
Oh, well.
But yeah, well.
Well, I'm not Scottish. How could I decide?
I don't know. Andy could decide.
Yeah.
What else do we have in the chat? So Yannick will have a keen eye on the chat.
Yeah.
I always have to switch, so I'm just going to read, and Yannick will respond.
Yeah.
Because you have the keyboard,
mm-hmm.
and I have the whole setup of what we have in store for you tonight. And we're just waiting until 8:15.
Exactly.
What have you done today? Have you worked?
Yes, regular working hours, and it was a pretty relaxed day. There's stuff going on, but I got by. How did you spend your day?
Well, I did nothing. I did all this GoldenEye stuff. I checked if all my trivia was correct, double-checked some things that I missed, checked some Russian spelling, which was very difficult to get to. But now I have the information, so when we need it, it will be there.
Yeah.
In the morning, I was with the horses, but it is sort of bad weather. It was raining a bit, and so there was not much to do. I cleaned up a bit, and after an hour, I was gone.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm really looking forward to that the whole day.
Me too.
I was,
yeah.
like, hyped up, and I'm glad that I didn't have to go to work, because then I sit there and just waiting and counting the hours. So
Well,
it really gets me.
But that was exciting to me. I even wrote you in around when at dinner time I wrote you a message. I'm really looking forward to it. And it was like that. And every time I had a little break at work, I was thinking about it and was really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
So just a little explanation, guys. If you see me, not looking into the camera or typing sometimes, I'm not having a chat with the girlfriend or whatever on the side, but it's just so I can see what you guys are writing in the chat. Push it.
Oh, you're not having a chat with your girlfriend?
No, actually. No. Fully devoted to this now.
Ooh. I called mine before we started, so actually I think an hour ago, because it's not possible now, but and we always have that thing we say goodnight to each other, and it's very loving.
Oh.
It's a bit, she always says it's kitsch, but I like it.
Okay.
It's I mean, if you really love somebody else, it's a good thing to do. And so I did that before we started.
Okay, very well.
She's not that much into Bond, so maybe she's watching. I don't know if she is. Hello. But otherwise, that was my day. It was we are in the holidays and I'm doing nothing basically. Yeah, I'm trying to get some stuff for the channel, which is with a watch along today. It is really something great, and this will not be the first and last watch along. We have more planned for you. So when this is a success tonight, and when you're all having fun, we are very happy to very soon bring to you Tomorrow Never Dies as a watch along, and then continue with the Brosnan ones.
Yes, which of course Tomorrow Never Dies is or at least I assume it is very interesting to you because a large portion of the movie was filmed in Germany.
Exactly. Same as GoldenEye, a large portion was filmed in Switzerland,
Yes.
so this pairing is really good. And then in The World Is Not Enough, we start at zero, and nothing was filmed close to where we live.
Yes, right.
Although I think part of the skiing sequences in The World Is Not Enough were filmed in Chamonix.
Chamonix,
So
that's quite close by. That's about 1.5 hours car drive from here where I live. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And which GoldenEye location is nearest to you?
It's the Tellystock.
Yeah.
Sure rings a bell with everybody.
Yeah, probably. Maybe not. But it's when Bond tries to salvage that plane that he dived after with the motorcycle. What you actually see in the background are real mountains, and this was the Tellystock mountain and part of Mount Eiger.
Yes.
So there are actually two parts there, and we see it later in the film, but you can't really pinpoint. You can from the back mountains, the mountain range you see in the background, you can tell where it is if you're there and you see the same mountain range. So
and of course also the Versovka Dam, the Contra Dam is very nearby, as you remember, because you visited me. We've told this story many times on various chats and stuff like that, but there was when you filmed A Bond for Life, we visited that place. It was about 2 hours a car drive to get there, but it was quite something to take in.
And mountain roads, roads, so alpine roads, and going into Italy, it was like that. Italian roads were like that, and then the Swiss roads were like flat and calm and
exactly. You can instantly tell when you cross the border, like that.
Yeah, but then arriving at the dam, this was really so fantastic because we came out of that tunnel. I think there was a tunnel, and we thought, oh, we should see it now, and suddenly it was there behind the trees and everything, and that was so fantastic. I remember my heart was racing.
Yes.
That we were at an original GoldenEye location, and then to stand on top of that and look down, and
it's still so untouched. It still looks exactly the same like in the movie, except that little jumping platform that they have. But you can look over that.
Fantastic. So it's 8:14 here in Germany. Is everybody ready? Do you have your fingers on the pause button? Because we are about to start. On our mark, we will now do a countdown. Shall we say from 5?
Yeah.
And then everybody hit their pause button and we start GoldenEye. It's 8:15, so we can count. Would you like to do the honors?
Thank you very much. I'd love to. Okay, so here we go.
Great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Yo. The first completely original Bond film this is. Not based on an Ian Fleming novel. Or short story. You did know that.
What?
You did know that this is the first original Bond film not based on an Ian Fleming novel.
I know that. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. Also the first one to be released on DVD.
Oh, really? That I was not aware of.
1999. I remember it was a skiing holiday with my grandma.
Yes.
And this was the first DVD I bought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Gun Barrel.
And this is something I've observed is that a lot of people, even some who are not fond of the Eric Serra score in general, they love this Gun Barrel music. It's one of the most beloved Gun Barrel musics.
Yeah. And the first time CGI was used. Yeah. Here it is. Versace Dam.
Oh, fantastic.
Ticino, Switzerland. Built in 1961.
Mm-hmm.
228 meters high, I think. 380 meters long.
Yes.
And if you look at your laptop or whatever you have, tablet, you see our behind-the-scenes images coming through from the filming on Versace Dam.
Mm-hmm.
Really, I love these behind-the-scenes.
Yes, fantastic pictures.
You can tell so much from just a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, this film was not, this scene was not done by Pierce Brosnan.
Mm-hmm.
It was stuntman Wayne Michaels who performed that jump, which is not easy to do,
No.
I think. How to use that Titan gun at the end of his fall to reel in. And here's a shot of Wayne Michaels after he just completed one of the jumps, test jump. Who's been lifted back up.
And you can tell by the pictures that actually, when you look at the background, there's no snow at all. That's something we're going to talk about later. There's about, I would say, autumn or something like that. It looks like.
Exactly. It looks cold.
Yes.
But not winter cold.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's a fantastic stunt. I always loved it, and I remember seeing it at the cinema. It was large on the screen. I mean, that dam really appeared very large.
Yeah.
And when we were on top of it, you get a feeling for this.
Yeah.
Size.
We wanted to get into this, what do you call it, cabin or?
Yeah.
Well, we
that really exists.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. You don't see the actor portraying Bond. Initially, you just see his hand, his hair, and his eyes, and here you just see his figure.
Yeah.
And due to a contract with NBC, Brosnan was tied to the Remington Steele TV show in 1986, where he could have taken over from Timothy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
And Broccoli wanted him in the part, and said, if he can act, he's my guy. So that was, but he was, under contract. Although Remington Steele wasn't that successful, and they renewed it because suddenly it was.
Now here you can hear something. Eric Serra went on record to say that he was absolutely not happy with the mix of the score in the movie, because he said there's a lot of rhythmic stuff going on, and if you listen to the GoldenEye Overture, there's a lot of details and stuff that establishes the rhythm and the beat and everything, and you can tell it's really low in the mix. And so he said that Michael G. Wilson confirmed it. So it must have not been the happiest of collaborations when you hear them talk about it afterwards.
And that scene, do you know what Sean Bean actually says, translated from Russian?
Yes, don't even breathe or something. Where are the other guys?
Where are the others? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's you can hardly translate it, because I remember a couple of years ago I sent this to a Russian friend and asked him what he actually says, and he could barely understand it because he has such a heavy accent that you can barely tell what he says in Russian.
Yeah, but he says, "Don't breathe. Where are the others?" So was this a mission with more 00 agents, or was this just, I don't know, something they say? like spy talk.
Yeah,
In London, April is a spring month.
exactly. Yeah.
And Trevelyan, interestingly, Alec Trevelyan was supposed to be named, or it was tongue in cheek actually, an homage to John Trevelyan, who was a film critic and film censor. And he was very rough on the Bond films, on the early Bond films. So they thought a bit of tongue in cheek tribute to that man who always said Bond films sexist and something like that. And in an earlier draft of GoldenEye, he was actually called August Trevelyan. I don't know why they changed it to Alec. No idea. Facility, great.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's a great set. I really love it. It's that's something that for example, that is a set that I'd love to at least once have had the ability to visit it. It looks so impressive.
Yeah, and funny enough, the facility set, with what we saw earlier, there was a canteen and everything where Bond looks into. This was a full working set.
Oh.
They put so much effort into designing it with light switches and electric switches everywhere. It actually worked.
Okay.
And in shooting breaks, the cast and crew actually ate in the kitchen that was part of the set.
Okay, wow.
They could make tea, everything. It was fully functional.
Now, do you notice here there are about 7 to 8 guys shooting at the windows, and there are only about a couple of bullet hits in the windows? That's something always pops in my head, you know.
Yep. Bad working Kalashnikov.
Yeah. Well, it's accurate again.
Yeah. Entrance of Gottfried John.
Yeah.
Famous German actor, sadly passed away September 2014, I think it was.
Yes.
Hugely talented. Big guy. Really big guy. I always thought he was perfect for that role.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I really loved him. Loved his portrayal. His English was very good. I think he was not dubbed.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's not. It's his voice, and that always baffles me as well, because I think, he didn't grow up in a time where English was sort of part of the school teachings, exactly. And so I'm really astonished how well he could speak English.
Yeah, exactly. Also, something that I never gave much thought about, but I read it once, that later one of the guards fires on Bond, and Ourumov shoots him.
Yes.
Was he part of that whole setup? Did somebody need to die just to make this believable?
Yeah, it's a good question. And also, how did he arrange the bullets? Now, this was a blank, and then was this the only blank in the gun, and the other ones were, or did they all fake their deaths, like the guard you just mentioned?
It was either a gun, or he fired slightly to the right.
Okay, yeah. This is also funny. In the scene after this, when they start shooting, look at how the people are standing, the soldiers, so they would be directly firing at Ourumov as well, as well as on each other. The ones standing in front, they would all be dead.
Yeah. I don't think they thought this through.
Not entirely, yeah.
Yeah. But what always intrigued me, this, although it is a very tense scene, it looks very elegant.
Yeah.
It looks controlled.
Yes.
And this is sort of Martin Campos style, clean visual look. Sometimes it's also part of what makes the film less watchable, but here it works.
Yeah.
It works really well.
Absolutely.
Everything has its place.
Yeah.
And great. Painted clouds.
And basically, the little story I wanted to share, a personal story, was that this scene actually made me do a motorcycle driver's license.
Oh.
This very scene, and I bought a motorcycle with a similar engine to this one, because it's just that scene that made me start to ride motorcycles.
Yeah.
Just a couple of months ago.
Yorit asks, Smirnoff or Belvedere, if it's my first glass. Oh.
There we go.
Bought the cheap vodka.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's Smirnoff.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
And now you
can see the effects later.
And now you can see all the things we talked about beforehand. Now, the dam was in sort of autumn weather. Now it's covered in snow here. And something people often talk about is that this whole setup doesn't make sense. They go down and down and down, and all of a sudden they're on this platform here, which is weird.
Yeah. And this is a painted background. So There was a lot of matte painting. When you have the final shot, this is a matte painting as well. And then we go into the behind the scenes images that we have here. You can see how they trained for this jump, which was really, really difficult to do. So they did a lot of training jumps, Wayne Michaels and his stunt team, with the original plane. Oh, this must have been so hard.
Yeah.
I mean, the thrill of it all. I mean, I couldn't do stunt work.
You know what just comes to my mind? How many motorcycles must they have wrecked?
Quite a couple. Quite a couple. And I don't know where they trained it. I think at some point they did not use a motorcycle, and then they started with a motorcycle, then in costume. So imagine how many run-throughs they must have had.
Yeah. For this one short scene, it's unbelievable.
For this one short scene, which is physically impossible. It simply doesn't work.
Maybe you can disclose a little bit, because I think it was one of your events of the German James Bond Club, if I'm not wrong, where you had this, what was this, a German physicist, or what was he?
Yeah, Professor Dr. Metin Tolan.
Yes.
He is at the university in, I forgot.
Germany.
Yeah, somewhere in a university city. And he gives these lectures about Bond and physics. And he explained in great detail on how this stunt could never have worked.
Okay.
Because of the speed of the individual items. And they could never go together. They could never meet. So, Bond would have had the same speed as, I don't know, a bullet being fired.
Peter Büttner just commented, TU Dortmund.
Oh, yes. Technical University of Dortmund.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Peter. Another thing I quickly want to mention, Andy, our Scotsman, just commented, it's not a good idea to look closely at some scenes, as you can see how see the flaws. Now, maybe we want to say that I'm sure, Andy, you didn't mean any offense in that, but just in our defense, we are in no way slaying this movie. We love it so much, but still sometimes, especially if you love it so much, you allow yourself to take a dim view.
Yeah, you have to insert criticism at some point, because GoldenEye is not the perfect Bond film. It has flaws, but all of them have.
To me, it is.
All of them have.
To me, it is. It is the perfect movie.
Okay. We will go into a lot of discussion tonight. You and I.
And not only
still know each other.
We had a lot of discussions over that topic over the last couple of years, but I just say GoldenEye is my favorite movie. Not only favorite movie, Bond movie, favorite movie overall.
Okay.
Yeah.
First title designed by Daniel Kleinman here, who came after Maurice Binder, who died during the production of License to Kill, or shortly after License to Kill. So they had to have a new title designer, and Daniel Kleinman did a fantastic job here. I like the look of that.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bond, it's about guns, it's about girls, they're nude, but you don't see it.
Exactly.
But many in Russia were not happy about that, because symbols are smashed. Interesting story about, since it says GoldenEye by Tina Turner. Did you know that Bono and the Edge of U2, they were all neighbors to Tina Turner in the south of France?
No, I didn't know that.
And one day, Bono went over to Tina Turner's place and played the demo of GoldenEye on her piano and asked her if she wants to do it.
Okay.
That's how that song came together.
Now, by the way, we didn't mention this in the live stream. We discussed it previously, but a lot of the, as you could tell, a lot of the GoldenEye intro that we just seen was filmed in Switzerland, like the Tellystock, the jump, then the dam. And there's another connection to Switzerland. Tina Turner lives in Zurich, meanwhile.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and she's quite happy there.
Yeah. She's married
How old is she now?
Is she 80 or above 80?
Must be 80, somewhere around 80-ish. Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the car chase, yes.
Yeah. First Bond film directed by a non-Brit. Martin Campbell is from New Zealand. And it started a whole thing of having directors from other countries.
Yes.
Car chase, of course.
The infamous music that goes along with it.
Oh, yeah. Blasphemy.
What do you think about it?
Me?
Yes, the car chase music.
Hate it. I hate it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I hate it. It's completely out of place. It feels wrong to me. Has always felt wrong. Maybe not in the cinema on the first viewing, but certainly now. But I have other things that I appreciate. In that I look more on the cars and what I know after it. So the Ferrari, for example, it was rented.
Mm-hmm.
It was not like the DB5 that they had it lying around. And there was a collision between the Ferrari and the DB5.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ferrari had to be repaired overnight for $80,000.
Imagine that, $80,000 back in '95. That's yeah.
Here are a few more behind-the-scenes images from the filming of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was, of course, done by, choreographed.
Yes, the French. We did a tribute video once. Oh God,
yes.
What's his name? What? Keep talking. It will come to me. Please don't spoil this for me.
Okay.
Remy Julien.
Remy Julien, exactly. Yeah, and Famke Janssen did most of her stunts here.
Really?
Yeah, she did the driving herself.
Okay.
For most of the stunts. There was a stand-in with a wig and everything and the costume, but she did a lot of the spin she did on her own.
Okay.
Yeah, she said that once in an interview, Jay Leno or something. And it is nice. It works well.
Yeah.
It builds up tension, and these are real roads. It's not like they made it up or something, or have had parts of that in a studio with a fake backdrop. This is all real in France.
And you can tell. It just feels real all the way through.
Yes, it does. Yeah. It does. And the way the camera pans is fantastic. This fantastic camera work.
Absolutely. And can we just spend a second talking about this? We've talked about this many times, Ben. That supposedly
is that Martin Campbell?
Yeah, supposedly Martin Campbell is among these cyclists, but we've never spotted him.
No. And we watched high-res images of it. There is no Martin Campbell in it, no matter what the IMDb says.
Yeah.
No. There is no Martin Campbell in there.
And this one always makes me laugh. It's a silly domino joke, but it works for me.
Yeah, definitely. Serena Gordon.
Yeah. By the way, guys, are you enjoying this? Is everything all right? All the sound and everything, and our comments, our brabble, hopefully all is good.
Another interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
This is not Pierce Brosnan's hand opening the champagne compartment.
Oh, which one was it?
It was his son's Christopher.
Ah, okay, yes.
Hand. Because Brosnan had injured his hand before shooting in his house in Malibu. And he had his son around on the set.
Yes.
And he doubled his hand.
Okay.
Here you have a few behind-the-scenes images from the casino scenes.
This view over this harbor is so nice.
Fantastic.
It's so glamorous. Everything, the way it's filmed, it is lit. It's perfect.
Yeah. Steven Saltzman, son of Harry Saltzman, lives in Monte Carlo.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Supposed to be a nice place to live. Roger Moore lived there as well.
Yeah. And he once said in an interview that when they asked him, what does the former James Bond, what car does he drive? And he said something really small and, pardon the expression, shitty. And so it's made everyone laugh. Huh?
Yeah, definitely. It's, after a 6-year hiatus, I mean, License to Kill had a casino scene, which was lavish, really nice looking. And this certainly picks up on that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they continue the tradition of things that look really good, sets that look good.
Yeah.
And often you always find that on location in an actual casino.
Exactly.
Oh, this is fantastic. Derek Lyons was in that scene.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it was so short, he walks past, and I never could freeze frame it. I actually don't know where he is.
Osman just asked, is this casino a set or actual place? I think it was a set, right?
I think
partially.
Partially, it might have been a set, but I think it was actually done in Monte Carlo.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm not 100% sure. I've seen images from people who were in the casino where you're not allowed to take photographs, and they photographed the exact same doors Bond goes through. So parts of it must have been the actual Monte Carlo casino.
Okay. Andy just wrote that the interior was set.
Okay.
Oh. Very well informed Scotsman. Nice to have you here.
That's good. Oh. That's good. Really, really good.
Can I just quickly say how fantastic Pierce Brosnan looks in those scenes?
Mm-hmm.
It's mind blowing to me still how good this man looks.
Yep. Oh, you have a man crush on Pierce Brosnan?
Absolutely. I admitted to it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It's generally the costume design is really good. Also, Famke Janssen's dress here, really, really good. It gives you an inkling of what she is about. And she's a seductress. And you know there's something wrong, something fishy about her from the way she is dressed.
Menacing almost, right?
Yeah. And she smokes a cigar. I mean, many women smoke cigars, but this is 1995. It was not often seen.
Yes, right.
And director Martin Campbell hated smoking.
Really?
That's why Bond was not allowed to have a cigar in that scene, or even a cigarette. The last cigarette Bond ever smoked was in
Timothy Dalton in License to Kill.
License to Kill.
I know that
cigarette
for
he smoked. Yeah, exactly. It was a quiz question once. And out of the top of my head, I remembered License to Kill, and this here was the reason Daniel Craig, Martin Campbell hated smoking.
Okay.
The character of Xenia needs it
because she's evil.
Because she's evil.
Yeah.
She had to come across as really menacing. And the delivery of his James Bond line, fantastic.
Epic.
It's really fantastic. So this was really, we're 20 minutes into the film, and this is his. Here I am. This is me. And very well delivered.
Yeah, and I really love. I think Pierce Brosnan's voice doesn't get enough credit because he has such a unique voice, and frankly, I have not heard a convincing impression of his voice. Steve Coogan got the closest, but only in certain little bits. And then, of course, back in the days on the Nintendo 64 when they had the voice impression on the Nintendo 64 Bond games. I just forgot the name of the man who did the voice of Pierce Brosnan, but back then he was quite close to it.
Yeah.
When
it is difficult. I know the Steve Coogan impression. Yeah, it's really good.
He did that on the Jonathan Ross show, I think.
Yeah, and he previously did it on that show he did with that other fellow comedian, The Trip.
Yes, right.
Where they both do impressions, and they do it very nicely. Also of Roger, Timothy, and
exactly all of them.
Sean.
Yeah,
almost forgot Sean. A piece of criticism about GoldenEye and in general Brosnan's tenure, that he looked too clean, too smug, and look at this image, and when you compare it to, I know you hate to hear it, but I always have to see two things when you look at Daniel Craig in Casino Royale, how beaten up he was and bloody shirt and everything. You would never have seen that in a Brosnan era or the Moore era. They were all clean and came out of every fight reasonably clean, with
the possible exception of Die Another Day.
Yeah,
to a certain extent, at least a little bit.
Yeah,
but I get what you're trying to say, and it's what a lot of people, especially the Bond fans who were not particularly keen on the Brosnan era, criticize. He's too smug. But that's exactly, I grew up with Pierce Brosnan being Bond, and that's what I love. To me, Bond, through the portrayal of Pierce Brosnan, was almost like a superhero, so to speak.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I loved. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Same here. And it was nice to see all these new things. Gadget car. There was a fax machine in the car. I mean, I was 13 or 14 or something.
Yes.
So it was fantastic.
Yeah. Back in '95. Today we laugh about it, but yeah.
Yeah. And actually, this is still light. The film is still light, but it had a much darker tone because it was intended for Timothy Dalton. To continue, here's Billy J. Mitchell being savaged by Famke Janssen, and many people will know that, but Billy Mitchell played the captain in Never Say Never Again of the yacht. I think the what was it called? Oh, I forgot it. And he's Canadian here. Admiral Chuck Farrell is Canadian. The Pentagon insisted that Chuck Farrell is not an American.
Okay. Well, there we go.
Don't know why. And in the first draft of GoldenEye, actually, Xenia's preferred method of killing was use her hands to induce heart attacks. And when you look back at The Living Daylights, Q mentions to Bond that there is a KGB agent who likes to kill men with her thighs or hands, suffocates them. So they picked up a lot from the previous Dalton films in terms of tone, and some ideas that probably were not used fully, and incorporated them in GoldenEye. It's interesting. There's much more a Dalton connection than you think. Oh, how he pulls open that must be a heavy door.
Yeah, you said that so dramatic. Yes.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Also, a privately owned yacht where this was filmed.
Yes.
And here we see the first glimpse of the Lafayette, which really was a French Marine Navy ship lent to the production company, the FS Lafayette. And it's a ship that is still in operation. Because the French Navy still has it, and the Royal Saudi Navy, I think. And they also provided the Eurocopter, Tiger.
Yeah. So, to a large extent, thanks to the French for making this happen.
Yeah. And Brosnan wasn't happy about it, because he was involved with Greenpeace at the time, and less pleased with the film being effectively bought off by the French military, because the Navy had their brand and their logo on every promotional material. And what Brosnan did, he threatened to boycott the French premiere of the film.
Successfully?
Yeah, successfully. It was cancelled.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, okay. Why is the question? We didn't speak about the why. The French were doing nuclear tests at the time. And, of course, Brosnan was not happy about that. I remember when you're a natural activist. I'm going back into some images behind the scenes. Everybody loves them. Famke Janssen in costume, probably looking at the Eurocopter. And this was filmed in Monte Carlo Harbor. Famke Janssen in costume. These are rare shots, and really like them. And I don't know if it actually works like that, the helicopter.
In what regards?
What the captain is saying.
Okay.
But it certainly has advanced, very, very good weapon systems. I think the German army still has a Eurocopter.
Really?
Yeah, none that works.
Too bad we're not playing our game, right?
Yeah, too bad. These are great shots, by the way, if you look at your tablet or wherever you have our live stream. Pierce Brosnan also with stuntman Wayne Michaels, who you can see who was just shot by Famke Janssen.
And by the way, there's a fun little fact. You can hardly see it in the movie, but Famke Janssen shoots these two guys, and in the movie she's actually using a gun with a silencer, but the shots are clearly not silenced or not muffled.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so true.
Again, great wardrobe for Pierce Brosnan with the suit and the pants and everything. It was Lindy Hemming, right? Already.
Yes, that was Lindy Hemming. Yeah.
Great woman, and she also on the making of, she seems very like a very nice woman. I'd love to talk to her for.
Yeah, very down to earth.
Yes.
Very professional. She knows a lot about. She's almost like a designer. She knows a lot about how to put costumes together and what fits together.
Yeah.
So, really knowledgeable woman. Like her very much. Zenhäusern, we're now. And this is sort of, we go into the whole studio and model setting. Pinewood Studios was unavailable because they were shooting the first night with Sean Connery, ironically. And the producers created this new studio from a former Rolls-Royce aircraft engine factory and aerodrome at Leavesden in Hertfordshire, and they called it Leavesden Studios. So it is one of the Bond films that was not shot at Pinewood Studios.
Again, a great set. It's not one of the main sets, surely, but it still looks so detailed, with all the stickers on the computers and everything. It looks rugged and used, and yeah.
Lights, switches, attention to detail, very nice.
Yes.
Yeah. And there is a lot of model work around Zenhäusern. So when you have the satellite dish and stuff, GoldenEye was actually the film that used most of the model techniques that they had. And Derek Meddings, who was responsible for doing the models in GoldenEye, sadly passed away after it, said he'd never worked with more models in a film than in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And we later have some behind-the-scenes images from how the Zenhäusern scenes were shot, especially when the helicopter lands and everything. It was all like this miniature wonderland that you have in Hamburg with the little toy train going through, and everything carefully placed and snow over it. Really, really great.
There's a lot of love in the chat for Derek Meddings. Jorrit just wrote, and Gareth Smith just said, I found the models in CGI extremely good in GoldenEye. None of it took me out of the film, and I absolutely agree. I take a model over CGI shot any day, any time.
Yes, if it's done right.
Yeah, exactly.
And, the thing is, with Bond, you have so many people working on these films who know exactly what they're doing and they're best in their craft.
Yeah.
So this really puts the films aside from any other action film. If you compare it to whatever you want, Mission Impossible or whatever. They do good stuff, but they don't have the people that the Bond crew is. I mean, they've worked on other films. I mean, the stunt crews have worked on other films. Some of them have worked on Mission Impossible, I think. But miniature models, today everything is done in computer. But GoldenEye is a prime example of model work.
Yes, exactly. And even if I've seen some of the behind-the-scenes pictures, usually, when you see behind-the-scenes stuff and then you watch the movie again, it's sort of you can tell. But GoldenEye, it still works, even if you know exactly how they did the scene when the fighters crush into the satellite. You still it's still the effect is there. It sells the effect.
Absolutely. Brilliantly filmed, and some of the models were quite large.
Yes, exactly.
So we will see in a moment the mix. They were really. Yeah, here we go. If you look on your tablet now, or wherever you watch our stream, here's the model village of Zenhäusern. And Zenhäusern actually is an island off the coast of Russia. It isn't a real place where there's mountains around it. There's Derek Meddings preparing the set, and you see in comparison the size of Derek Meddings, the height of Derek Meddings, and the depth of the set. So it was half of a studio. A person walking in the background, sort of scraping stuff together, and all the lights, all the ring lights and stuff. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have paid money to be on that set that day when that was filmed.
Yeah.
Really spectacular. And a remote-controlled helicopter, of course. Somebody was standing behind the cameraman, controlling the landing helicopter, and then you sort of hide this miniature effect behind a lot of dust and snow and fog, but you have to think of all these things.
Yeah,
that's so magnificent.
And what do I always now working on a game, Spies Don't Die, and you always try to think of good lines to write. Just for simple things like introducing characters that make names stick in your memory. And I mean, General Arkady Grigorovich Oromov. It's perfectly introduced, when he says that into that little voice decoder thing to open the door. And that's how these names stick in your head. It's brilliant script writing as well, and dialogue writing.
Yeah, absolutely. He was perfect for that role.
Fantastic.
He was really, really fantastic, and the dynamic between him and the other characters is really good. And this is also, for me, a signature scene for Famke Janssen, because you have not seen much of her yet during the film. We're now at 33 minutes. But what you see comes across as menacing. So we saw her in that outfit in the casino. And now, in a couple of minutes, we will see her mowing down these people, these helpless, innocent people. And she actually gets thrills and kicks out of it. It's almost like revitalizing her. And this is something, if you put that into today's context, where many people, serial killers, or, well, if you can call a club shooting or a school shooting a serial killer, this is sort of the same. This scene is funny. You know why? With the two keys, so no single person can launch a nuclear attack, right?
Yeah.
but they are so close together that you as one person could turn both keys. So it makes absolutely no sense. That's when you look too closely at one scene. It's always something.
Prime example of that, yes.
Yeah. Oh, we could use Martin later because he can speak Slovak, Czech, English, and a bit of Russian. It's very good. When they start swearing at each other.
Yes.
Oh, this is a lot to build up to just to release a weapon, isn't it? It's not just to press a button. I think the president has an easier job, president of the United States.
Well,
or is that the same amount of work? I don't know. I don't know. If his nuclear code carrier is not in quarantine by now.
You see, this whole scene has so much tension in it, but it doesn't make use of music at all. It's
no. It's just as it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would not have worked with music, I think.
No. And
it would have destroyed the tension.
And yeah, exactly. And that's why I sorry, I don't mean to bust any balls, but that's why I hate directors who sort of tend to score every single second of a movie, because sometimes the pauses are just as important as the music itself when it comes in. And Andy just said on UK submarines, keys are in different places for this very reason that you just explained, Benjamin.
Yeah. Well, the English have always had a different system.
Nice choice of word. Different.
Nice diplomatic choice.
We're not judging here.
No, don't worry.
I never understood this. Is this Earth? It's just a blue sphere. I never got that.
What then?
Was this Earth that we just saw behind the?
Probably.
Oh, why is it just blue?
I don't know. No idea. But I know that this is the first time the real MI6 headquarters is seen on screen.
Okay. Beautiful building.
It is. Have you been there?
No, not personally. I still hope we can go sometimes when Corona stuff is over.
We have to.
Yeah. And the offices look so nice. I love the lamps over there. You get really nice lighting, and so love this location.
Yeah. It's really nice. I have this indirect light as well. Nobody can see it, but it's oh no, perspective is really bad.
Yeah, you can't see any light at all.
No, I'm just stupid. Now you can see the light behind me, but above that is an indirect light that goes 360 degrees. But MI6, I wanted to say something about MI6. Samantha Bond, like her. Really love her. She's been in a lot of things. She's been in Downton Abbey, and that was really great. She's a great versatile actress. Yeah. She at first when I came out on DVD and I watched it a couple of times, I thought she was wrongly placed, but this is actually the first time Bill Tanner came back, MI6 Chief of Staff. First appearance since For Your Eyes Only in 1981. There's no Bill Tanner in between.
Michael Kitchen. Yeah. Again, that's one of the reasons why I love GoldenEye so much, because practically every role is so perfectly cast.
Yeah. And here comes Dame Judi Dench.
Well,
of course. Well, Judi Dench was in Cats.
No.
Yeah, she was. It was the worst film.
I didn't see it.
No, I just looked in it.
It's the same reason why I can't watch Mamma Mia, because I just can't fathom my Bond singing ABBA songs. No.
And he wasn't good. You know the interesting story about why they have a female M? Lois Maxwell, who played Moneypenny, had wanted to be M, and she made the proposal that M should be a woman. And secretly, she saw her in that role. And when she told that to the producers, she hoped that she would be promoted from Miss Moneypenny to the new M. And then suddenly they thought, oh, Dame Judi Dench, she's a great actress. And I don't know who was older, Lois Maxwell or Judi Dench, but they preferred Judi Dench. But the decision to have a female M was at that time the domestic intelligence service of the UK actually had a female
Mm-hmm.
head, which was Stella Remington.
Yeah.
So I think it's modeled right after that.
I just wanted to ask you about the sets that we just saw, the interior of the MI6 building, because I was asking myself, does it? I mean, presumably it's a set, but does it look remotely as neat and as good in real life? And Andy just wrote a great comment. Said, "Have you been inside? I haven't, unfortunately, but I stood outside. Former MI6 M Stella Remington, like you said the real interior was not nearly as nice in reality."
No, it isn't. And actually, what I know, the most of what you see overground of the MI6 building is not actually anything office-like. They are all underground.
Okay.
All the offices are underground.
Oh well. And then what's in the top then, or what's in the building?
There is this, it's this Art Deco style stuff, and
Okay.
in the middle there's sort of a terrace. And when you go there, when you walk there and you take pictures, so when you look from the bridge, in the summer there are tables with umbrellas, sun umbrellas, and everything. It's part of the cafeteria.
Oh, okay.
So the cafeteria is upstairs, and you work downstairs. Great.
That's how you blow up a set.
Yeah, yeah. That's how you blow up a set.
We just have a discussion about M, and Osman just asked what M short for, and I said it's probably Mama.
It was the first time actually M had a name, although it was not revealed in the film.
Hmm.
But it was written down somewhere. She's called Barbara Maudsley,
Hmm.
and it later changed in the Craig films. It changed to something else. Never know why they did it. Yeah, that's how you blow up a set.
Yeah. Again, the miniature
Fantastic.
work.
Yeah.
What I always find,
And
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
What I find about model work, what I find so interesting and so amazing is you have to think that the elements they don't shrink or increase in size. So you always have to take that into account. And I always find it very interesting when they can portray water or fire and explosions in relation to the actual model. That's really tricky to do.
Yeah. Also a scene without music.
Yeah.
Isabella Scorupco.
Hmm.
Not the first choice. They considered Elizabeth Hurley, Elle Macpherson.
Oh God, no, no, that is a bit Hurley.
And then they looked for Polish speaking. They had Eva Herzegova, who was a model.
Hmm.
But some of them were just not interested, and she was the one who was interested and fitting for the part.
Hmm.
And actually, until here, she has a lot of screen time.
That's right.
She has a great subplot until, sort of, we're 42 minutes into the film, until halfway of the film, she has a great subplot in losing all her co-workers here and then trying to contact Boris and everything. But somehow, later when she encounters Bond, she is left with nothing to do
Hmm.
through the rest of the film. She has absolutely no... What does she do?
Yeah.
Not much. She sleeps with Bond. She goes with him to Cuba, but and she knows how to fire a gun.
Let me
But
just
that's about it.
interject real quick. Gareth Smith did a quick search in Google, and it was revealed that M's real name is Vice Admiral Sir Miles Messervy.
Yeah, that's for the male
Oh.
M's.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the male versions of M were always called Sir Miles Messervy,
Okay.
taken straight from the novel. Yeah, and for a female M, they didn't have anything because Ian Fleming didn't provide a female M,
Of course.
so they just called her Barbara Maudsley. And I don't remember what her name in Skyfall was. Probably Yorit remembers.
Hmm.
Or somebody. Michael Kitchen did a great detective series set in the 1940s during the war.
Is he that old?
He didn't do it in the 1940s. It was in the 1940s. It played in the 1940s. Goodness sake. Yannick, get a grip, says the person with the martini glass.
Yeah. So wait for your turn.
Mm-hmm. Old computer screens.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic. I don't know when I had the last one. It's not that long ago, maybe 10 years.
They were so heavy and cumbersome to
Oh.
carry around. War.
Yeah. But some were the first TFT screens. They were also quite heavy. I remember.
Exactly.
would have always loved a hanging screen or something. I love the screens in the control room when they hang from the ceiling. The stuff you can shoot in the N64. I always shoot them. I don't know. I have nothing else to do. I'm like Natalya when I play GoldenEye.
Yeah, well, that's what they're there for. They're to shoot, clearly.
Yeah, and they explode
Yeah.
instantly.
Like everything does in GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Now maybe I can quickly interject something about Eric Serra that I sort of started to talk about earlier. Something that I don't quite can figure out is, or do you have a quote or a story coming up?
No,
Okay.
not immediately.
So I was always a little bit sort of puzzled because there are different versions that he told in his interviews. I mean, in some interviews, in the official making of documentary, he said, he's always been a big James Bond fan, and that he was so glad when he was asked to join it. And then in other interviews, he said that at this time he was very spoiled. Of course, these days he did The Fifth Element, Leon, and all those big movies that he scored. And he said first he didn't want to do it, and his agent had to talk him into doing it. And so on and so forth. So really quite a disparaging. And then we'll get back to John Altman later about the tank chase score. But he also said on a recent interview, we both listened, that actually, at least to what John Altman says, he was not very pleasant to work with because he seemed to have his notions and his ideas. And when sort of even the producers suggested to do things differently, he kind of said, no, that's the way I do it, and then that's the way it's going to stay. So, yeah, like we sort of allured to before, it must have not been the best collaboration there.
No, most certainly it was not. But, I mean, it's like these two. I mean, you don't have the feeling that this is an ideal cooperation at the moment.
Yeah.
I mean, she pours herself a glass of bourbon, but what she actually had was apple juice with 2 lumps of light glass.
Okay.
Which then they doubled for ice cubes. So, and he had mineral water in there.
Okay.
So, and what comes across from when they speak in the control room, in the surveillance room, the way he speaks to her, maybe that is what people mean with smug. He knows a lot, and he knows a lot better than M, which has always been the case in the Bond series. Bond is a very knowledgeable person. He knows a lot of things before other people say them.
But then again, isn't that a little bit of the dynamic? Sometimes, in many companies where you have the boss who sort of oversees all, and then of course the worker, the employee, so to speak, he knows more about the details.
Sure.
Well,
sure.
But you're right. Yes.
And this, of course, the high point. You're a sexist, misogynist dinosaur.
Yeah.
And he smiles it off.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what some people don't like. He smiles it off because it looks like he missed this train of going into the future.
But then again, that's what I love about his portrayal of Bond so much. And there's a scene in Die Another Day, just a very quick reaction after they destroyed this whole fencing arena, so to speak. Was it a hotel? It was set in a hotel, right?
In Die Another Day?
Yes.
It was a club.
At the club, right.
It was a gentleman's club.
Exactly. And then when you say smile it off, then he talks to Miranda Frost, and she just tells him, you'll never have that pleasure. And, every other man would go like, oh, I'm so heartbroken and I'm crushed. And he just goes like, oof, that's it. I love that coolness.
Yep. But she's also Winter Palace, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
Always loved that. Official residence of the Russian emperors from 1732 to 1917.
Mm-hmm.
And today, home of the Hermitage, second largest art museum in the world, I think.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic
setting.
Yeah.
And but this interior was actually a Draper's Hall in London,
okay,
which you can visit as a tourist, but you have to sort of write them in advance.
Yeah, probably not now, but generally speaking, yes.
No, yeah, generally, but they're often booked for weddings and receptions and stuff. But what did I want to say?
Sorry for interrupting.
I forgot. But as this is the first Bond film after the collapse of the Soviet Union, they had the opportunity to film in St. Petersburg.
Yeah.
Which they happily did. And you see a lot of St. Petersburg originally here. When first you see the Winter Palace, later you see the bridge they drive over Zukovsky and Bond. Not Zukovsky, Jack Wade. And during the tank chase, of course, where a lot was studio, backlot, but some of it was actually filmed in St. Petersburg.
Now, here we see Checky Cario, Dmitry Mishkin, for the first time. And you can actually tell he's French, I think, originally. And you can tell by his accent, he sort of tries pulling off a Russian accent, but you can hear, for example, in the interrogation scene where it says helicopter and stuff like that, you can clearly tell that he's French.
Yep. And all the actors who portray Russian are not Russians.
All of them?
He's French. All of them.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
He's French. Gottfried John is German.
Yes.
Isabella Skorupko is Polish.
Yes.
Who else is there?
Zukovsky.
Scottish. Boris Grishenko. Alan Cummings is from Scotland.
Yes.
So, yeah, well.
And just a quick note about the score here. That's to me why I love GoldenEye so much. And sometimes Eric Serra gets it so right. When Ormov realizes that Mishkin is onto him with facts, you can just hear a very low drum, and you can just hear, and you can see his face drop. That's so perfect. I love these moments.
Yeah. And if you look at the behind-the-scenes images, I've just started for you now with a few snaps from Q's lab, with Martin Campbell directing. Of course, a great humorous scene that they had, and it was. I mean, Desmond Llewellyn, he was a character of himself, really. Having been in almost all of the Bond films for so many years, and he had nothing to do with gadgets. He always had to read from a cue card. Giving Bond this fascinating BMW car, the first time a BMW was used.
Which Brosnan was not fond of, by the way.
No, Brosnan was not fond of it. And it had so many gadgets, and none of them were used because BMW came so late in the production. And the car was a prototype, and they were not allowed to have action scenes with it like you have in The World Is Not Enough, where he destroys the helicopter with a buzzsaw, and it was cut in half and stuff. It was just not allowed on GoldenEye, so they couldn't use any of the Stinger missiles and whatever was built in there. The phone booth is my favorite. Can we just wait for that, please? Oh, fantastic. He's like, what is it for? What is this for? Why would you use such a thing? It's so ridiculous. Can I have that? Great. Parker pen. I actually had one of those.
Was it expensive to get? Or was it a present?
I don't know. I stole it.
Okay. Well, that's a way to go.
I found it somewhere. I don't know. It might be my mother's.
Yeah.
I should have said the second one before. No, I think it was one of my mother's. I don't know.
Okay.
But it wasn't explosive. And he says Writings on the Wall, which later became a Bond song title by, you know who?
Oh man, why do you always do these things to me?
Why do I keep showering you with Craig film info?
Yes. Oh man, I thought it was about GoldenEye.
No. You listen to Sam Smith in your dreams.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
While you're eating a massive sandwich.
This sandwich looks so disgusting, by the way. I'm sorry to say.
Well, it could be a Subway sandwich. They do good sandwiches. And by the way, British Airways still flies the same route with the same flight number to St. Petersburg.
Really?
Yeah, they do.
Oh, the music here. I love this cue so much. Oh, Eric, thank you.
This is Epsom Racecourse.
Yes.
In England.
We spent a lot of time figuring out where this location was, actually looking at Google Street View pictures.
Yeah. It's good that we have that, Google Street View. It helps, helps really a lot. The other opportunity, the other option you have is to go live on location. But if you don't know that it's that one, I mean, they film a lot in England and dress it up as something else because it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it's cheaper to film in England, but it's even cheaper if you can film it on the Pinewood backlot. because this is a huge area, and they have gardens, and they have a part of a forest and stuff. A lot of Octopussy was shot in there, and you try to find the original location, and it was right next to the studios. Die Another Day, the hovercraft chase was filmed in a military site in I have too many martinis. I forgot. Aldershot.
One, come on.
Aldershot. No, this is the third.
Get a grip.
The fourth. Yeah, I'm trying to. Oh, Jorrit will have a field day with this. Thank God our camera pictures are too small, so you can't cut out something of that. Not Ruislip, Jorrit. Aldershot. See, Ben, you're alcoholic. I'm not an alcoholic. I just like to drink.
Yeah, well, which is the definition of an alcoholic?
No, I drink to forget. What do you want to forget? I forgot.
Okay.
Somerset House. This was filmed in. You have to make the sentence up yourself. I was there, filmed for One for Life. It's very nice. And Somerset House came back in Tomorrow Never Dies. And it was right at the beginning when he learns Danish or something. And he comes back and drives the MI6. He drives to the gate of Somerset House.
Yes, right.
And they really, they remodeled it as a place somewhere in St. Petersburg, put a statue in the middle.
But I mean, still, you can clearly tell it's Somerset House.
Well, I don't know if you've been there.
No, I haven't been, and I can tell. Even I can tell that this is the Somerset House just by looking at aerial pictures. Yes.
Yeah, but not if you see the film now. From the architecture, you can't tell if this is St. Petersburg or London.
No, I mean with the ramp and everything, I think you can clearly tell. But perhaps it's just because I saw the Bond for Life flick, you know.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Flick.
Sorry, that was a little bit demeaning.
Oh, IBM surely has a lot of computers on sale. IBM, interesting. Could have been Microsoft. Did you have a really old computer like that?
Yes. We had one, yes.
With disk drive and everything?
Yeah, absolutely.
We didn't have these 5.25. We were already on 3.5
yes,
inch or something. Oh.
Yeah, it was terrible.
I love today. I really have to say, I love modern times today.
Yes.
Because everything fits on a USB stick.
Oh.
Back in the day, if you lived through it, the first steps of the internet, it was impossible to do something like we're doing tonight. Impossible.
No, it was bad, really.
Yeah, Martin says good old floppies with 1.44 megabytes of storage.
Oh, God.
And if you went to a friend and copied a game, you had to copy it on 10 floppy disks and then install disk after disk after disk.
God.
Horrible.
And then the sixth or seventh disk was kind of broken or had some problem, malfunction. Yeah.
Read error. Yeah. I know we did that with Indiana Jones games. Yeah, we always shared them around.
That's interesting. Jorrit just wrote that they used the UK IBM building for the exterior shots for Carver, his reception in Tomorrow Never Dies with the arrival of James in his BMW.
Yeah. True. He's right.
And Andy said...
Wrong film, though.
Yeah. And Andy just says, you youngsters, when I was young, computers took up a whole room in rooms, reel-to-reel tapes. I have a reel-to-reel tape, Andy, just by the way.
Yeah, but I imagine.
Oh, this car. I just can't get over this car.
What is it? What kind of...
Is it a Fiat?
I don't know. It looks like an old version of a Fiat, 500?
Yeah.
Guys, help us out. What kind of car is that?
Or is it Russian?
This is, I know, is Brompton Cemetery in West London. Royal Borough of Kensington and Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
And they made it to look like a Russian Orthodox church.
Yeah. And it was a Fiat 500, yes. Andy just confirmed it. Thank you.
Yeah, an old one.
Yeah.
And you see a new one in Spectre.
All right.
So they reuse certain things and elements. I don't know if they do it on purpose or if it's just... I mean, you can probably, I don't know, cut every little piece of fabric and say, oh, that's an homage to Goldfinger.
Yes.
Probably it isn't. Anyone remember how many floppies Doom was? I didn't play Doom.
Neither did I.
I played Wolfenstein.
Yeah, of course.
To be honest. Yeah, sorry. German have to play Wolfenstein.
Ja, klar.
Great costume, Famke Janssen.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that brief, tiny moment.
Yeah.
Moment.
Robbie Coltrane.
Going into Scottish there.
I saw an interview. It still baffles me how incredibly funny Robbie Coltrane is. I saw him at Parkinson once. A two-part interview. It's on YouTube. And he's so incredibly funny. This man.
He is really funny.
Yeah.
He is part comedian.
Yes. Yeah, but still there are comedians who are not funny at all. But he's so.
That's true.
Yeah, fantastic guy.
Great timing.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
And you told me that
so proud of him.
Minnie Driver didn't sing herself right here, right?
No, she didn't sing. Just the name needs to come to me. Michelle something. She did not become famous. I think she did dubbing stuff for singers in movies because she had a good voice and she could slip into different voices. And here she sings with a Russian accent. And Minnie Driver was paid $5,000 for her cameo here, but she wasn't really that famous then.
Yes.
I think she's been in a few TV series, but since GoldenEye, a few years on, I've seen her in a lot of films.
Yes.
Minnie Driver, quite famous today, and she's really good.
Yes.
She's a very good actress.
Yeah.
Michelle Eldridge was the singing voice for Irina. Michelle Eldridge.
Okay, yeah.
But it is funny because Minnie Driver is a trained and successful singer. She could have done that herself.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, professional singers can also purposely sing bad, so that's why I thought it's really.
That's right. I can.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you say anything. Don't you just... I don't even know why I said it. The moment I said it, do you know that? The moment you say something, you know it's wrong?
Oh, story of my life.
Yeah, great. I can also sing right to everybody it may concern. My knee also aches. Not just my knee.
And not just in winter.
No.
Jorik just corrected us. It is actually the car was a Moskvich. Just real quick.
What the hell is a Moskvich?
It's a Russian, just an Eastern car brand. Now there were a lot of cars. The Russians, I think, copied from Fiat. Also, like I think the Lada Niva or Riva also look very similar to an Italian Fiat. I don't know which one, but the designs were really close. And sometimes there was a Russian car named the Chaika. This was a really noble car for the big bureau officials, which was this luxury limousine. Looked very American because they basically stole the design from the Americans. It was just an American car executed badly, which already means something.
Let me ask you a question which is a bit off. Do you like Russia?
To be very honest, I like everything that is sort of portrayed in movies and so on, but I've never actually been to Russia. Have you?
No. I always wanted to go to St. Petersburg. But it's funny. Funny story. Couple of months ago, I thought, the Orthodox Church is worth a thought. I don't know why, because I'm an atheist. I don't really believe in God or anything, but I thought, they have a great system in place. It's interesting.
Yes.
It's caring and it's friendly.
Yeah.
I might be wrong, but I don't know. I just thought,
Actually, my boss has a lot of friends in Russia and has visited Russia many times, and he basically said the very thing you say, which is that the Russians are just very friendly people and very, welcoming and so on.
Are they though?
What's his version?
Well, I heard from somebody who worked for a factory that makes tins, and they sell the machines to Russia, so they can make tins. And he was there in it was Moscow, and but it was 2002 or something, but still in the 2000s, and you were received at the airport with loaded Kalashnikovs, and so there were patrols everywhere and.
Well, but I think if you go into more of the rural places, I think people, the common folk,
Okay.
You know, I think, yeah, when you get close to the biggest cities, I think, yeah, that's probably true. But really, you know, the more down to earth people, let's say, I think they're really. But like I said, I've never been there. I can't really judge. Can you
The
tell?
Bond experience is here. The Bond experience is here in the chat.
Oh, hi.
Yannick, pay attention. I've been in so many chats of David, and now he's in one of my chats. Thank God. Welcome.
Can,
GoldenEye.
can you tell something about this location?
Yes. No. I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in London. The front entrance you saw is in London. It's a hotel in London. The interior I'm not sure about, but what I'm sure about is that in that scene, when she tries to suffocate him
Mm-hmm.
with her thighs, he broke her rib.
Yeah.
You know that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was her own fault because she said, "Push me hard against the wall,"
Yeah.
which was a padded wall.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't stone, so it must have been interior set design.
Yeah.
And she broke a rib. She cracked a rib. No, not cracked. She broke it. Because she wanted it to look real and she wanted her reaction to be as genuine as possible.
Okay.
In the book, I think John Gardner wrote the GoldenEye novel that was released simultaneously with the film. It's actually described on how they have sex on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quite graphic scene. That's where she cracked her rib. Bond experience, taking a much needed break from work. So are we. Best celebrated with a Bond film. Goodness.
Now, we just missed this little part, but then again, you know, I'm a very sort of music guy, and you know, I just love the little hints and little things that Eric Serra does. Also, when Bond cocks his gun and Xenia turns around, you just have that little reverse symbol, and then
Yep.
it stops as she turns around. These are the things that you go like, you just take it for granted. But in terms of music design, it's just fantastic. I mean, you gotta have the balls to pull that off, to have such a scene, just, you know, do the end of it with just a reverse cymbal sound, basically.
That's true. That's where she sweared at him. She said "bliat,"
Mm-hmm.
which is in Russian, I think, written B-L-Y-A-T.
D, yeah.
Sounds totally different when she says it.
Mm-hmm.
And I googled it. It literally translates to whore,
Mm-hmm.
but is more commonly used for fuck.
Okay.
So, in her case, being oh shit. And if you look at the behind-the-scenes images, we have some of the polyresin models of the statue park.
Those are rare pictures. Never saw that one.
Yeah, they are quite rare.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I picked them. And in the German version, when she swears at him, she says "Swolach,"
Mm-hmm.
which means bastard.
Mm-hmm.
It's a combination of two words, I think. It's unwed and unborn, unwed and born or something like that.
Now again, the statue park, fantastic set. I mean, again, the lighting, the fog, whole atmosphere of this is, and the music is, again, one of the reasons why I love GoldenEye so much. It's all about atmosphere and the build-up. Filmed a lot from down below, just
Absolutely.
yeah. And where was the set? Somewhere in Eastern Europe, or where was it? The actual set?
No, I think this was actually Leavesden Studios, backlot of Leavesden Studios, because they had to put all the statues they formed in polyresin. They had to put them somewhere.
But we had a discussion once where we tracked down something connected to this scene to, I think, Budapest or something like that.
It could be. Could also be Poland, because
Yeah.
it's cheaper to shoot there. But to bring all these things there, either they had to build them on location and put them up, or yeah, I don't know. I think it's costly. I think it was done in England. I don't know. I would have to check the 007 archives, but it's too heavy to get down now. I drank too much. And Andy says backlot at Leavesden. That's what I thought.
There was something about Budapest, but I can't remember. Let's just leave that.
Budapest.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Hungary? It's Hungary, isn't
Yes.
it? Good. Just saying. Sometimes I'm way off. And this is a significant scene for me because this could have been somebody else. I mean, Sean Bean auditioned for that role, but he also auditioned for Bond in 1986. And the first choice for Alec Trevelyan was Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins, and then Alan Rickman.
Okay.
And they both declined. Hopkins wasn't interested in the script, as far as I remember, and Alan Rickman didn't want to portray villains all the time. Because because of Die Hard,
Die Hard, yes.
he was in that villain. But what did Sean Bean do? He grabbed it, first opportunity, and he always plays villains, and he always dies.
Yeah.
There are only 3 or 4 films where he doesn't die.
Does he?
Yeah, you never know. Nice makeup there.
Yes.
Definitely. But what I didn't like about Alec Trevelyan, he changes his motivation more than once during the film.
As in?
This is now, he says his parents were killed by the Russians and everything. And then suddenly it's about money. And then it's about killing James Bond. Well, he has more than one opportunity to do. But as every villain, you see the effects of the martini. As every villain does, he has to explain the whole plan, boast, and it's, look how great I am, and then miss the opportunity to kill Bond.
Yeah.
I mean, this has been in pretty much every Bond film.
Yeah, and which is wonderfully depicted and hinted at in the Austin Powers movies.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And an interesting thing that came to me in the scene with M, she said to Bond, I don't just send a man out to die, but I have no problem sending you to your death if I have to. She actually does it in Skyfall twice. There is as an agent wounded in Istanbul. She tells Bond to go on.
How many times do you still want to bring up Craig movies in a GoldenEye live stream? You really would start to make me puke my guts out, man.
Well, it's a bridge from here to there.
And you're talking about one of the best scenes with the best music. I mean, to talk about Craig, this is my
this one?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
And it's one of the best scenes with the best colored parachutes.
What?
Yeah, because when they eject from the helicopter, the parachutes, where they land with, they are white, and when they come down, they are white with red stripes.
Okay.
Isn't that fantastic?
I watched this scene so many times, but I never noticed the parachutes, to be honest.
Well, look at it. Look at it.
Okay.
Pay attention. It's not a parachute, actually.
Blu-ray, I noticed the little toy figures now.
It's a rescue...
Escape pod.
Yeah, something. So, now look at it. Boom, it goes. Out come the white... They're white, you see it?
Yes.
And when they come down, when they land, they have red stripes.
Okay.
Pay attention to it, everybody. Fun little goof. Somebody didn't pay attention there. So when they land, and red stripes. Fantastic. You didn't see it. It was too fast.
There we go. Yeah. Of course, some people also talked about that this movie, this scene is very similar to Die Hard 2 when he actually escapes the plane, again in an ejection seat.
Yeah.
And it's filmed from on top, so that's quite similar.
I love Die Hard. It's a Christmas movie. Have to watch it this Christmas. This is also St. Petersburg. St. Michael's Castle or something. Real location, no studio. And that's the whole scene is funny because there is a particular person in there that I'm trying to get to for years and years. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Yeah. When they go to the library, I'll say it. So this is where she encounters Bond, and they speak to each other. They make contact. And from then on, it starts that she has no purpose at all in the story. She has nothing to do except for being a programmer. She has no information to give Bond. She has no way to help him. Nothing. It's a bit wasted. And do you know what she did after GoldenEye, Isabella Scorupco?
No.
The only successful film she had, I think, was Vertical Limit in 2000. And then she had some TV and film roles, but nothing major. Nothing major. She had a recent film, but her career didn't take off like many of the other Bond girls. It's sad because her portrayal of Natalya is actually very good.
Yeah, I agree.
It is that sort of innocent kind of woman you want or need to save. But, well, the way Bond speaks to her, it's like an interrogation.
Yeah.
So that goes back to when people say he's so smug and so full of himself. And I don't know, he sees her as somebody to interrogate. And she smiles at him and he's still being cold. He is cold to her. Right until I see when they go to Cuba and everything.
Yeah.
Don't know. Oh, Jackie Cario again.
Mm-hmm.
And this is... we talked about that before. Pacing. There was a lot of action in the beginning, and then it slows down and speeds up again and slows down again. Also, did Martin Campbell do that right?
I don't get this discussion, honestly, because GoldenEye is one of the very few movies that when I watch it from A to Z without skipping any parts.
Okay.
Because the pacing to me is just right. I don't have any places, and most other Bond movies I have that where I have to skip certain scenes or parts of the movie. But with GoldenEye, I don't have that. How do you feel about it?
Well, I also watch it from start to finish without skipping anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy this very much right now because I haven't seen GoldenEye in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
A really long time. Because people who know me, I don't watch the Bond films at home often. Because I know them inside out.
Mm-hmm.
But this certainly is a joy. And I see so many new things right now.
Mm-hmm.
And the more often you watch them, you can look at deeper things. Like what Jackie Cario just did with his eyes, with his face, without saying something. It's brilliant. And that's why these actors are so brilliant as they are. And Gottfried John's entrance.
Yeah.
So vibrant. Here I am. Yeah. And Brosnan's look. Like, oh, I know you. I know exactly who you are. Mm-hmm. But also in this scene, no chit-chat and everything. Bond realized that things have changed.
Yes.
And this archive scene is interesting. It took roughly 2 weeks to shoot. And since it was mainly filmed indoors, they all had to wear something in their ears because all of the gunshots were real because they used real weapons. Mm-hmm. So imagine how loud, I mean, you know, as a sound designer, how loud a Kalashnikov is.
Yeah.
Imagine you stand next to that.
In a small room, yeah, that's...
Yeah, and then you have cast and crew, you have all the people you don't see in the picture.
Yes.
And they constantly have to wear headphones and earplugs and whatever. But I think it serves the film. It's really good that they used real weapons. Yeah. It sounds incredible.
It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah.
The sound
especially when he shoots at the steel door.
Yeah.
There is a level, a quality of bass that is fantastic.
Generally, the Kalashnikovs in this movie, this one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's outstanding.
And this is the scene when they enter the library.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. There was an extra in the cast whose name was James Bond.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah. And when Pierce Brosnan learned or read it on a call sheet that there was an extra called James Bond, he immediately asked to meet him. Mm-hmm. And they did, and they took a photo together, which is, I think, sadly lost. I have never seen it. But actually, Jim Bond, as he likes to be called, because his famous name James Bond doesn't get him anywhere. He can't even order a pizza in where he lives. He lives somewhere off Northampton in the middle of England. But he's a close friend of my ex-boss, and they regularly text each other. And I always try to set up an interview with Jim Bond. I never got round to actually doing it, because either he has to come here or I have to go to England. But he was in that scene, and we freeze framed it a couple of times and sent it to him, and he pointed himself out to me. But now I cannot. I don't know. I forgot.
Okay.
It's one of these faces, but one of these stories. Imagine you're called James Bond.
Yeah.
Imagine you're called Pussy Galore. Oh, you're it. Your comment was just highlighted. I have to decide if I allow it. I will. Why? Oh, because cocked it up a bit. YouTube filtered that. Oh, now we go into the tank chase. Fantastic stuff.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic stuff. And they used a real T-54, T-55 tank, actually 3, for this scene. One was on loan from a museum in England. And it was partly filmed in St. Petersburg and the other part Leavesden Studios, where they faked all of the relevant statues and Russian symbols. But still, when the Russian media got images of that, of the filming, they put headlines out like they're destroying Russian symbols.
Please tell the viewers where one of the GoldenEye tanks can be found these days. It's so demeaning.
Oh, it is at the entrance of that one museum where it is originally from. But I have to Google it. I don't know where exactly it is, but it is somewhere in England.
No. I didn't mean that. Wasn't it? Didn't you tell me it was on a golf course somewhere?
No, it's a museum. I don't know if there's a golf course next to it. I don't know. I don't remember. I would have to Google it.
Okay.
But it stands on at the entrance of a very long driveway. Yeah. That one tank from GoldenEye.
Okay.
And they had several, and also a mock-up. Later when he goes after the cars and you can't really see the tank because of the Neva River embankment, they had it put over an armored vehicle. Made it up like a tank. And I think in that scene he goes through the same house 3 times.
No, actually I can just see it. One of them is on a golf course.
Oh, really?
Yeah. As target on a golf range, yeah.
It's a wonderfully dynamic scene.
And of course something we have to address here is the whole score thing. You had that story about John Altman and the ongoings with Eric Serra about scoring the scene.
Yeah. Basically, it was 1 week before release of GoldenEye. And the sound editors and editors said, I want my name taken off this movie. Because this is not how the Bond theme is supposed to sound like. And this is not a Bond film. It doesn't feel like a Bond film. And John Altman was brought in to rescore it with the music you are hearing now in the final film.
In a couple of days, I just like to interject.
In a couple of days. But he knew that this was coming. When he received the phone call, he told his assistant, it's the tank chase.
Yeah.
Yeah, he must have seen a rough print of the film. Pretty much. A work print or something. Which we know exists. And he said that Eric Serra was very young when he did the GoldenEye score, and everybody came in on him, producers, directors, editors, sound editors, and everybody had something to say about the music and how it should be and stuff. And there are several things to consider about Eric Serra at the time when he wrote GoldenEye. He was A, French, B, he was very young, C, he was inexperienced, and the only reaction he said was, back off. Let me handle this. I mean, handling it was reusing most of his music from Leon, which is identical to GoldenEye.
Yeah, that's true.
In some parts.
That's true.
And so what they did, they used the more experienced John Altman as a composer and a go-between. Yeah. By the way, here he goes through 90,000 cans of Perrier water.
Which were empty.
90,000.
Weren't they empty?
They were empty, yeah.
No.
Yeah. But 90,000. That's
Insane.
Bond for you. Yeah, and literally a week away, John Oldman started to compose the music for this tank chase.
And incidentally, just a couple of, months ago, the original track from that scene, or at least half of it, was released, I think, on John Oldman's SoundCloud account.
Thank God.
Yeah, which was the actual recording that you can hear in the movie. Because the one that was out, there's a full 6.5-minute version out there, but that's actually a re-recording by another Philharmonic orchestra, which is not quite the same.
No. Although the Prague Philharmonic Orchestra,
Yeah.
they did a really good job in orchestrating some of the old Barry stuff.
Absolutely.
Really love it.
Yeah.
But as you say, it's not the same.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because you want the original that is in the film.
Yes.
And it was great, although it was not the final piece. Oh, Ohacho Paket.
Yes, right.
I looked it up. I didn't find Ohacho. It's probably pronounced wrong.
I could tell you what it is.
It probably means danger.
Oh, well, yes, it is. It is spelled Apazna Nevchadit.
God. No.
Oh, it's just Apazna and then Paket. I don't know what Paket means, but Apazna means yeah. No, Apazna doesn't mean yeah.
I'm sorry. When I googled it, Paket was actually package, as in German, Paket.
Okay.
A package. Yeah, that's okay.
But Apazna means yeah. They watch out. Yes.
Apazna. It sounds good. Apazna. Yeah. Urumov keeps drinking. I hope you don't mean me. Almost empty. Oh God, and there's still a lot of time left. I might have to get out and, I don't know, get some more martini.
What does this Orumov come from? Do you confuse yourself for Orumov when you're drunk or what?
No, Yorit just said it.
Okay.
Yorit said, and Urumov keeps drinking.
Okay.
He's got the DVD. He's 6 minutes. He's 6 minutes ahead of us.
Oh shit.
Yeah, isn't that bad? Nice train though.
Very nice. Yes.
It was old Russian splendor.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a few behind the scenes images if you watch your tablet or phone or wherever you see our live stream. This was actually part model and part a real mock-up train, which they called Darth Train, because it looked like it had a Darth Vader mask on. Did you know that?
Yes.
And they filmed it at Nene Valley Railway. Railway.
And isn't it called Nene Valley?
I don't know.
I think it's
I always called it Nene Valley.
Okay.
Don't know. I'm German. I'm allowed to do that. And they had a mock-up track where they put the model on, Derek Meddings, and he was fascinated by what is possible if you have the right amount of money. And then they had a diesel locomotive transformed into this Darth train, into this rocket train with the pointy front. But when the tank shoots, this is the original tank that was used. But when the train rams the tank, these were the models. But fantastic. I mean, every boy's dream to play around with model trains.
Oh, yes.
I did.
Chua.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but this train looks so menacing. This short shot that you just seen, where you see it speeding around and you know, wobbling around, it's really menacing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. A very well executed scene.
Yeah.
And Bond just watching it, casually watching it. Yeah. It's all in a day's work.
We don't talk about how he was faster in a tank than a full speeding train.
Yeah, how the hell did he get there in a tank being faster than the train? Goodness me, solve that riddle for me. And
Andy just pointed out, of course, rightly, that Octopussy was also filmed there in Nene Valley.
Yes. Where famously one stuntman got badly hurt.
Yes.
I think he even got I don't know if he got killed. I don't remember.
I think.
But there was a very bad accident because there was a sign that, he miscalculated the distance and I don't know, badly hurt his leg or something.
Yes.
But yes, it was filmed there. And actually, the Octopussy carriage cars are still parked there.
All right.
And then in the process of refurbishing, restoration.
And Shane Mackey just pointed out Martin Grace, presumably the stuntman, survived and returned for a View to a Kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's right. He's absolutely right. Sometimes the names escape me, but
Yeah.
especially that late, 9:45 in Germany.
Yeah. Let's blame it on the lateness.
Yeah. Yorit says very dangerous moment in the series, and there have been plenty of dangerous scenes. I mean, that bungee jump at the beginning of GoldenEye could have gone wrong.
Yeah.
If I do it, I would have done it. You know, I would have done it.
Yes. Let's just stick to that.
See, that is that one moment he could have probably killed Bond easily. It was also like a Mexican standoff.
Right.
Again, Famke Janssen, very menacing in that scene, just when she licks her glove.
What I never found so convincing about that scene, like I say, I always say this with all my love for GoldenEye, but that Orumov would just so quickly believe something that Bond, the enemy, tells him and basically turns against him almost. It's just, I don't know.
I don't know. See, that shallow? Is he basically just a recipient of orders and doesn't really know who to believe? I don't know. The story seemed plausible to him, for sure. Again, in this scene when he lasers open the bottom of the train, not his hand, also his son's hand. And there you can see how they were filmed. So this must have filmed earlier, at the beginning of shooting of GoldenEye, because, I mean, he didn't have his hand hurt all during the shooting. I know that his hand double was used in this scene when he lasers open the door, when he opens the champagne compartment in the DB5 at the end of the car chase, when he bungee jumps down and lasers open the hatch, and one other thing. So, of course, they are filmed mixed and mixed and mixed.
And our viewers are just praising Martin Grace for being
fantastic stuntman.
Yes,
Martin Grace.
And the way I can tell by the comments, a nice guy, obviously. Very nice.
Martin,
yeah, Yorit said that, and Andy confirmed it.
In terms of stunts, the Bond films have set the standards. You have to say it as it is. Also for films like Mission Impossible, who largely tend to copy from the Bond series, the Bond stunt people have set the standards. Martin Grace, Wayne Michaels, what they have done, stunt work in Moonraker, all this aerial stunt work, which is so difficult to prepare. Jumping from the Eiffel Tower in Paris.
Yeah.
I mean,
Gary Powell.
What we have seen, Gary Powell, and you know that Gary Powell, he's one of the cheeky ones. You've seen that if you've seen my 00 Effects explosion videos, how he just goes up in joy when he can press a button that makes everything go boom.
Yes.
He goes like, oh.
That's probably the very sound he makes. Yes.
It's fantastic. It's almost like Live and Let Die, Sheriff Pepper, which only exists in the German version. So when we make a watch along of Live and Let Die.
Oh yeah. Oh, we'll have a field day with that one.
Yeah. Are you sure that was your cousin, Sheriff? It only exists in the German version, that noise he makes.
Lorenzo just said, you guys watch along GoldenEye is entertaining. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. I'm glad we're entertaining. I certainly am.
Pardon me?
Are you having? What are you drinking? You're drinking nothing?
No, I have my mineral water here.
You can have fun with alcohol, you know.
Well,
Uh-huh. Oh, there's no quick pun.
I see how much you. Why should I drink?
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, got a bit slurry there.
Now imagine if I would
Yep.
start to drink, that would be just, oh, goodness.
You haven't. Joris says Powell has a role in the film as well, in GoldenEye. What role did he have in GoldenEye?
In the archive scene, you can see him briefly.
Yeah, and
As one of the, oh goodness.
yeah. 5, 4.
As one of the guys on the Lafayette that gets killed.
No, he doesn't get killed. He holds Bond in place when he tries to go on the
Right.
Lafayette.
Yes, exactly.
Yep.
Yes.
This is a funny thing. Jack Wade comes with a plane, courtesy of the CIA, right?
Yes.
Definite reference to License to Kill.
Yes.
Why?
Because,
Look at that plane.
yeah, because of the opening with Sanchez.
It's the same plane that Sanchez flew
The
in the Bahamas.
very same?
No, but it's the same model.
Yeah, of course, but yes.
I don't know if it has the same brandings, but it's the same model that Sanchez flew.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe the CIA kept it. I don't know. Felix Leiter gave it away.
Mm-hmm.
Said, oh, keep it somewhere, storage room. And they gave it to Jack Wade. Nice, sharply dressed. Well, is that a Brioni suit as well?
Oh, good question.
Probably is.
Probably, I would say all the suits in this movie are Brioni, yes.
Is that a brand you still wear? I don't know. I certainly wouldn't wear something that Jack Wade wears.
Well, you remember that thing it was when I visited you, I had something similar on.
Really?
Yeah, don't you remember when we went shopping for suits? I had this ghastly shirt on. It was.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Where I asked you if you would try to dress like your favorite Bond, which is Pierce Brosnan. And you said you wouldn't because you are not that James Bond.
Exactly.
You are you. Which is good.
Oh.
Which is really, really nice.
We have a question for later on to you, Ben, but pardon me, I don't mean to be offensive, but I don't think you can answer that because neither can I. It's a question related to the music, the track Scale to Hell. Why was it omitted from the final film? Instead, they play Run, Shoot, and Jump in the latest scenes.
I don't know.
I couldn't say.
Knowledge.
No. Never.
No idea. We would have to ask Eric Serra about that.
Yeah.
Which you tried.
Yeah, I tried to get in touch with him many times and try to organize an interview with him, arrange an interview with him, but that never actually came about, which is a pity. But then again, never meet your heroes.
Oh, what's that? I found a bit of bourbon.
Oh, just randomly laying around.
Oh, God. Ah, here's that scene. On the beach. On the beach. I wrote something down for the beach. Beach. Say no sexy small talk. Yeah. That's a prompt I wrote myself. Nice lighting there. Fantastic lighting. I love that. Fantastic. The thing is, what she says to him and what he answers is very important because you would not have heard that in an earlier Bond film. The woman clearly asking such a blunt question and making him angry, although he is not angry. He reacts very calmly. His demeanor is very calm. But let's quickly. I have to listen what she says because I forgot the original wording. Is it that easy?
Well, you might want to stop talking then.
Okay, sorry. Can't hear anything because it's turned down. Well, all those guns you're killing for what? No woman in a Bond film before GoldenEye would have ever put that question to Bond. And he would have never answered so honestly in his thinking.
Sean Connery sure as hell would have smacked her across the face for that.
Yeah, but something like that was never in the script. Because it makes him vulnerable.
Yeah.
You get a view into his psyche, how he thinks, and how he sees himself, how he evaluates his job and himself and what he does. And you later have that, I'm sorry to say, in Craig's version in Casino Royale, she says, I'm sorry.
What's the
He says, I wouldn't be very much at my job if it did interest me, killing all those people. Yeah. Yannick is not giving up. He knows me. He knows that kind of stuff. Looks sexy enough. I would have probably lost the watch, but okay. It's product placement.
It always baffles me what you pay attention to. In the big action scene, you watch the parachutes. In the love scene, you watch the watch. What is this?
I mean, I would have taken it off in bed.
Okay.
Why would I need a watch in bed?
Good question.
Don't answer that.
No, it's okay. I'll refrain.
Would you like to? Oh, yes, if you have a second. Naughty. Oh God, Pierce, if you're watching, I'm so sorry.
Arecibo. Speaking of big holes, now we go into Arecibo.
Oh, great pun. No pun intended. Really nice. Yeah. But that is actually, look at that closely when they're flying around the airplane. I think this is a back projection. It looks terribly fake.
Yori just pointed out to a conversation about Gary Powell. I think you can see him in every Brosnan movie at least. He just pointed out his appearance in The World Is Not Enough on the submarine, of course.
Yeah, true, absolutely. And we will get to that when we do a watch along of The World Is Not Enough and Die Another Day and Tomorrow Never Dies. Yes. He is in all of them. Yeah, that's true. You just need to find him.
Now you can see in the backdrop that already. Is that here? Oh no, never mind. Yeah, never mind. It's just.
Okay. I didn't say anything. Arecibo, wonderful.
Yeah. Which was.
Oh, and the rocket comes out, which is the same like in The Spy Who Loved Me. When the rocket, when Bond fires the rocket to eliminate Caroline Munro in the helicopter, which was an unnecessary death, by the way.
Yeah.
There was no need to kill her because he was out of sight. Bond rarely does that. Bond rarely kills people unnecessarily. And GoldenEye is one of the films where he killed more people than usual. The kill count was a lot higher than usual.
Yeah.
Brosnan angry face.
Now here I think once he drags Natalya to that spot where they both sort of lay down, here is probably the only part you can really tell that it's a set. This looks so set up.
It looks made up.
Yeah.
It's a nice scene, but only because of Famke Janssen. Because and that's what I mean with pacing. It takes too long. It takes too long. This fade. I mean, I was once told don't use fades, don't use long fades, and this scene has 2 long fades for dramatic effect.
And there's another one also when isn't there one when they go to just the previous scene when they go to Cuba?
Yes. Yeah.
There's one of those long. Yeah.
I don't have a problem with fades. I like fades a lot, but some documentary filmmaker told me don't use them or use them sparingly. That was actually a stunt woman doubling, and then Famke Janssen steps in again. Great costume, menacing as F, and the delivery of her line. The pleasure will be all mine.
Yeah, intense.
She is so violent in a way, but she receives a violent death. And she got really famous after that. I mean, she was famous before that, but she starred in pretty much all the X-Men films. But we know, and we talked about that before, she is, when she's at signings and stuff, she is a different and difficult person.
Yeah. Too bad, yeah.
Too bad. Because I would have loved to do an interview with her.
Yeah, yeah.
But she has a sort of no-touch policy going on. And
Yeah.
I mean, we all have that policy going on right now.
Yes, exactly.
Nice death. Huh. Okay. Yeah. I mean, punchlines. I always found it odd when Pierce Brosnan drops down at the very beginning of GoldenEye, drops down into the toilet and says, "Beg your pardon, forgot to knock." He could have said, "Just dropped in." Because he dropped from the dam.
Okay. Yeah.
Forgot to knock. It's somehow odd. It feels out of place. Arecibo, there we are. Look at the magnificent behind-the-scenes images.
Oh.
A drone shot of Arecibo.
This installation was, by the way, pretty severely damaged just recently due to a storm, I think.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But yeah, well, they have the money to rebuild it probably.
And we've talked about this. It looks great, but after GoldenEye, they installed this sort of silver sphere on the end. It looks really weird.
I don't know if it was there before.
Or you think they took it off for the movie?
I think so. And much of it actually was shot with the model of the Arecibo Observatory. And these shots you can see in the behind-the-scenes images are from the model, which is quite large. It was a really large-scale model that Derek Meddings and his team built. Incredibly large for that time. And they could slide Bond and Natalya down.
Oh, yes.
That's how large it was. They could fill it up with water and they could drain it again. And you see it in the final film that it is a model. When the water, just right now, when the water goes out and there is a bit of time stretch and stuff going on and speed up of the process and the material is played backwards, things like that. But it works. It's a task of the editor to make it look right.
Here it looks like reversed. You see the water?
Yeah, it's reversed.
Oh,
it's
okay,
reversed,
it is actually.
Yeah.
There's also another movie, by the way, just quickly to say this, Contact with Jodie Foster, which also features the Arecibo dish.
Exactly, yeah. And did it have the silver thing on then? No.
That's why I think they installed this later on. I don't think they would have taken it off for 2 movies.
Yeah. No, it's true. And it's a vital part, because without that the dish cannot function, I think. Do you know what they actually do with that dish?
With the Arecibo?
Yeah. They sent messages to space.
Yeah.
They tried to make contact with aliens. If you have nothing better to do.
Yeah. Oh, well, the sound effects here again of the Kalashnikovs. A completely different sound to the other ones again, but...
Yeah. And they are like not many things on both ears, left and right.
Yes, right.
Yeah. This is rare. Nice sliding. That was, of course, done. You've just seen in behind-the-scenes images. They were pulled.
Yeah.
And camera movement very erratic. But it works. But you can clearly see it's a model and it's part matte painting. Whenever you see depth of something, it's most likely a matte painting. And again, we're in the control room. And the insertion of keys. Which he could have done on his own. But also in the game, it is a great level. Control room.
Yeah, that captured that really well, yes.
Yeah. Fantastic. Was a lot of fun.
Again, a set I would have killed to visit.
Yeah,
the control center.
definitely.
Mm.
And I asked myself, where is all that stuff? Some of the
Yes.
stuff you can take and break away. I mean, I know a lot is in that warehouse in London where they keep posters and stuff, and maybe some odd canisters from GoldenEye. But oh, that is so much.
You know, that's something I still can't understand until this day. Let's say Bond or Star Wars, any big pictures, they're known for destroying sets after they have been used. I just don't get it. I mean, Bond and Star Wars as well. Meanwhile, they're really established franchises. And surely some of the people must know that it would keep this stuff and sell it partially.
Absolutely.
They would make a huge amount of money.
Yeah, and I mean, some stuff miraculously disappears
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
Pinewood and Leavesden and whatever. And I know my friend Chris in Hanover, he has 2 of the original GoldenEye keys that were used during filming.
Yes.
So he must have acquired them somewhere. I had them in my hand, and they are quite heavy, I must say, which is good for the actors when you have something valuable,
Yeah.
which was produced in a heavy metal and stuff, not just a paperweight or plastic kind of thing. It lets you get more into the role if you have something heavy and solid to play around with.
Yeah.
And the GoldenEye keys, certainly, they are heavy combined to a carabine, for example. Yeah. A climbing carabine hook. That's about their weight. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And big computers again. Big writing, so nobody can misread it.
Yes.
And later on one of the screens, you can when Trevelyan explains, there's Gary Powell again with a nice beard behind Bond. When Trevelyan explains that he hacks the banks in London and stuff and wants to bring their computer systems down, you see Pevsner Commerzbank, which of course was straight out of the crew member. I think he was associate producer Tom Pevsner.
Tom Pevsner, yeah, right.
Yeah. Those are fun things they always put in there. Gary, everybody's screaming Gary. Fantastic guy, Gary Powell.
Yes.
Love him. I love him. Really love him. He would be a great buddy of ours.
I think so too, yeah.
Yeah. We should write to him.
Yes.
Or something.
Does he? We talked about this, but I can't remember at this point. Does he do conventions and stuff like that? No.
Don't think so, because he's mainly doing film work.
Okay.
Still. And he's not that old. I mean,
Yeah.
here you can see Pevsner Commerzbank, which is a German bank, I think. Commerzbank. And funny enough, the whole plot of Alec Trevelyan, using an electromagnetic pulse to destroy the computers of London, is the plot of the very first episode of that cartoon series James Bond Jr.
Okay.
2 years prior to filming of GoldenEye.
Oh, there we go.
Coincidence? I don't know. There are more stuntmen in this. The one on the right, who's holding Natalya, also famous stuntman in the Bond films. And of course, you wouldn't know if you go to the cinema. You wouldn't know.
And there's also one that we've missed talking about. What was his name? Cowell?
Cowell?
Cowell, yes, I think it was Cowell. He was also in one of the making ofs to The World's Not Enough of the skiing sequence.
I have to look that up.
I
know.
And
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know. But I have to look it up.
What's his name? Yeah. Simon. No, that's Simon Cowell. Yeah, right.
Simon Cowell. Simon Cowell was not a stuntman on the Bond. Simon Cowell tells you when you're a good singer that sings bad.
Yeah. Guys, help us out. What was his name again?
That's embarrassing.
Yes. And I just learned recently that one of the 2 guys that get killed on the Lafayette by Xenia being shot.
Simon Crane.
Crane, yes, it was Simon Crane. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Again.
You know what Gordon Ramsay would have said to you?
Idiot sandwich or what?
Simon Crane, you donut.
Simon Crane, yeah. And just recently now, because I never could make him out, but he was one of the guys who was killed in Lafayette. Never saw that until recently.
Simon Cowell, give me a bourbon.
Yeah, but come on, Crane and Cowell was not so far apart.
I was very far apart.
Come on.
crane is like something where you lift stuff with, which is obvious.
Yes.
Powell is, he's just a bad-tempered person.
Point taken.
Okay. Ooh.
I love that stuntman here, standing on the right of Natalya. I don't know why. Just do.
He has a nice facial expression.
Yes, right.
Very, very awaiting something bad to happen.
Yes.
Kind of facial expression. And I've seen him somewhere before.
Really?
Yeah, he's not an unknown. Retro rockets firing.
Mm-hmm.
He's telling us something which is blatantly on the screen. And they give it to us to read because we don't understand space technology.
No, of course we don't.
And of course he has the... Holy crap. He has the... Sorry.
What just
I was
happened?
out of the picture. Nothing.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. My bourbon fell down.
Unfall en Pedrei.
My bourbon fell down and the cat got scared.
Okay.
Yeah. I like that scene and I use it a lot when he goes towards her. And wants to be physical but can't.
Yeah.
This is very, very tense, but happens a lot in action films that somebody is threatened and she uses that against Bond, what he used against her before on the train. It has often been used in films, but no. It's on the screen. I remember in 1996 when I saw it, it was a very tense scene. And I thought, oh my god. Oh my god, I know the pen will explode. And the fast cutting here really does the trick.
Yes.
And the subtle music by Eric Serra.
Yeah.
Very, very subtle. You could have gone full Hans Zimmer on this.
Oh.
Exactly. I'm sorry. Oh, give me the colds, Natalya.
So great.
So great. That's literally
Huge.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Yeah. I wrote it. Brilliant. Absolutely great. Fantastic. Bigly. Sorry, I'm really bad at doing a Donald Trump. But have they voted yet? I don't know.
No, that's not over yet.
No.
And of course, still, while the place blows up, we just take it for granted that the elevator still works. Of course.
Yeah. Normally, in a fire situation, elevators don't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Don't look at every scene closely. Yeah, it's true. Sometimes. I mean, honestly, GoldenEye has a lot of flaws. So do the other Bond films.
Yeah.
So does Tomorrow Never Dies and everything, and the Craig ones and the Moore ones and the Connery ones. But Roger Moore always said, you go to the cinema and have 2 hours of good fun and entertainment.
Yeah.
And GoldenEye provides that because you can watch it from start to finish and be entertained.
Yes.
And if I hadn't read up on all the mistakes and goofs and continuity errors and all of that, I would have never thought about these things.
That's right.
I would have never seen them.
That's right.
So it's just you go in there, you sit in your seat, you have your popcorn and your Coca-Cola, and you just enjoy and be entertained. And recently that feeling has gone down a bit. Sorry to say. It was a psychological thing that they had. I mean, in GoldenEye you have hints of that, of Bond finding his own. Where does he go on from that? Collapse of the Soviet Union and stuff. And GoldenEye is one of the first films for Bond to question his career and his loyalties, where they lie, in the aftermath of the Cold War. And in Alec Trevelyan, he has an opponent that reflects his own dark psyche in a way.
Props to the...
They're equals. They're agents. And their fight, their final fight on the Atana cradle, in which they did most of the stunts themselves with very little help by stuntmen, except for one scene. It is quite brutal, so it continues the tradition of License to Kill, which was too brutal for its time. I think. Pretty much everybody else thinks. Are you still there?
Yes.
Okay, great.
I'm just answering the chat every now and then.
Okay, great. I talk so much, I'm terribly sorry. Oh, being James Bond. That's, forgot another name. That's Joe Darlington. Sorry, I'm on the 6th martini. Joe, welcome. Almost at the end of GoldenEye. I love this fight. The sound design is very good on that fight. Isn't it?
That's probably the only part where it sort of loses a little bit of pace for me. That's when I usually go like,
It's rather long.
Yes. And there's, like I said many times, I love the score by Eric Serra, but here it starts he really starts to lose the plot, because it's basically the big climactic scene, and for most here you can hear nothing, but after that it's just basically triangles and a bunch of sounds, which I really think that's, oh boy.
Yep.
Just the run, shoot, and jump thing before was great, but now when as soon as the satellite starts to burn up, it's just which is just okay.
But the fight is really, the choreography of the fight is really fantastic.
You feel it, yes.
You can really feel it. And on YouTube there is a video, a rescore of that. There is no music in there, but they redid the sound effects as part of a high school project or something, and it came across as even more vicious. I mean, look at what kind of punches Trevelyan has to receive there from Brosnan. Brosnan is good in countering.
Yeah.
But with the knee straight in the face, imagine that's you.
Yeah.
And the gun misfiring, and you're not even hitting his knee or something. I mean, it is true. You can really feel it. And Trevelyan could have pulled the trigger right there.
Yeah.
But in straight villain style, he wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Because probably there is one more moment down the road and where I can triumph over Bond. And Brosnan really hurt his hand there. Going down with the ladder, which goes straight into a green screen. I mean, you can see it, especially on the Blu-ray. On the DVD, it was a bit more.
And there we go with the music. When you just shortly pay attention to this,
yeah,
it's just triangles basically.
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Oh, the back projection looks really bad on this one. I'm sorry to say, the Blu-ray.
Yeah, it brings it out. Yes.
I mean, I don't care. I really don't care. The scene still works for me.
Yeah. But I think at its worst, it's when Alec is hanging, and when he drops. That's probably the only scene that didn't hold up. Ooh!
I mean, it was as a child. It was difficult to look at that for me,
Yeah.
because when he does that entire spin on the ladder.
Yes. Oh yeah. You can feel him knocking his groin to that thing.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, pardon my language, but fucking hell.
Mm-hmm.
And then he steps on his fingers. I mean, imagine that's you.
Oh yeah.
Would you have the courage to fight on? And if yes, how? And this small space, I mean, speaking of close quarter combat. But you could do that with that old monitors. Oh, speak to me. It really wobbled around. It's a nice thing.
It's not fun. It's not fun with flat screens anymore.
No, it's absolutely no fun. And I did that a lot. I mean, I'm a gamer, and a lot of things break. Back then, it were the monitors. One I threw over the desk by doing exactly what Boris just did.
Yeah.
Lost the game again. And nowadays, when we have flat screens and they are so expensive, I'm very careful to them. But mice and keyboards.
Well,
I mean, on my laptop, which was a gaming laptop before, the M doesn't work, so most of the German swear words I cannot type. And here we go. Actually, in the Blu-ray, it's uncut. I think German television cuts it. Probably Swiss television as well, when the antenna falls onto Alex Trevelyan.
And at which point do they cut it?
When you see his face screaming,
okay.
Seeing the antenna falling towards him. I have never seen them cut the way his leg bends when he falls down.
Okay.
But many TV stations, probably in America, Joe and David, if you're still here, help us out. When it's in America, they don't like a lot of swearing on television. So when Famke Janssen says, biatch to Bond. This is actually muted, also in Japan and China,
Okay.
which is just a tiny fraction. It's just one word. So they mute it so that you are not exposed to swear words. Germany, we don't care because we have a culture of swear words.
You know, in New Zealand they have it too. Just
Joe says we get awful dubbing when they show movies on TV. And this actually doesn't work. If you have liquid nitrogen poured over you, you don't freeze. You get severely burned, but you don't freeze.
Oh, how Martin Kemper would have said it. Christ, so fucking mighty.
Yeah. Thanks for swearing. Martin Campbell. Action! Oh, sorry. It's 10:30.
Yeah, now we're allowed to swear.
Yeah, swearing, but the neighbors. I'm loud.
Oh, okay.
I'm loud with my Martin Campbell impersonation. Action! So forceful. And this is funny, because it is the only Brosnan Bond film where in the final scene he is not on top of a woman.
Really?
Yeah, all the others he's on top of a woman.
Oh.
Lying, meaning lying on her.
Yeah, thank you.
And the second funny is that you don't hear the helicopters hovering over them.
Of course, yeah.
But they suddenly drop down when Jack Wade says, "Oh, I brought all the army." Thank feck.
Oh, God.
Oh, these are tobacco plants. And all the helicopters come down. Oh, they would have made no noise before. No, you would not have heard them.
No, they were kissing so loudly they couldn't hear the helicopters.
Silent helicopters. Amazing. Great film. Seriously, I have to say, great film. Great fun, great entertainment.
Yeah. And over too quickly.
Well, 2 hours and 6. Those are the end credits now.
But it doesn't feel like it.
No.
That's the thing.
No. That's why we, when we watched it as an accident over Skype together, I mean, we talked through the whole film. Through the whole thing. It's really, really fun. And you know that the song, The Experience of Love, was actually meant for...
Yeah.
He wrote that for something else. He wrote that for Leon.
Yes, right.
As I think the end credit song for Leon.
Yeah.
I don't know. As it must be said that most of the music is taken over straight from Leon.
That's right. Well,
a film I really like.
Certainly the instrumentation has, yeah. And what do you think about the song, the Experience of Love?
I like it. I like it when I play it outside of watching a Bond film.
Okay.
It's really, really nice. It's sort of that dinner music kind of song with a modern touch. Not being so jazzy,
yes.
But I really like it a lot. I also like the end credits song of The World's Not Enough, which was that, what was it? It was another, Only Myself to Blame. Great song. If you have a nice dinner on with a great lady, fantastic. Yorit says Surrender. Surrender would have blown the whole thing.
Yeah.
Imagine you sit there at candlelight dinner with a lovely lady and say, "Tomorrow never dies. Surrender." She would leave and get the fuck away as possible. But this is really. Lorenzo says, "Can you guys do a watch along of all other Pierce Brosnan Bond movies? That's what we are intent to do. Next time it will be Tomorrow Never Dies."
Yes. Oh, I'm so looking forward to that.
But now we go into open discussion. We will actually do every Bond film of Pierce Brosnan's tenure, which is the start. We can do older films if we feel like it.
Sure.
It's a nice way to spend your evening.
I think so. I had a great time, yes.
Yeah, definitely. Really liked it. We have posters made for everything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a great job with them, yes. It's really...
Thank you.
Just quickly to come back to Experience of Love. Now, I've expressed my love and my admiration for Eric Serra's scores so many times online, but I have to say Experience of Love couldn't care less for that song.
Really?
Yeah. It's, first of all, to me, Eric Serra does not have a singing voice.
That's true.
And
That's true.
just the whole song, it doesn't. I think, well, when you listen to his live performances, of course, he's a jazz guy, so he has a lot of that, out there chords and stuff that he does. And that song to me just doesn't feel coherent. But it's, of course, it's nothing in comparison to his live renditions of GoldenEye. It's just, it's 1 minute of the Bond theme, and then it just goes to wow.
Yeah, it's a 7-minute extravaganza of nothing remotely sounding like GoldenEye.
No, that's exactly.
I know. So that's it. Thank you for staying with us through the GoldenEye, Brosnan's first Bond film. We will go into open discussion now. If you still want to stay a while, we discuss the film a bit more until we lose interest in whatever. Quick question to the chat. Do you need 5 minutes to do whatever, to go to the loo or get another drink or whatever? Because I certainly need to go to the loo. I've had like 7 martinis. Or have Yannick entertain you with a bit more of his knowledge about music?
Yeah, let's call it knowledge.
Yeah, knowledge. Yeah, knowledge. That's what it is. We should do a quiz one day. We should do a live Bond quiz. That would really be fun.
Generally, or just about the music, you mean?
Yeah, well, I don't know much about that. Well, I do, but no, generally a Bond quiz. We are the hosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Music works great with that chat, yes.
This is fantastic. It's if you guys ever want to live stream something, if you want your own channel, if you have your own channel, what I'm using is Streamlabs OBS, and I have several scenes that I can use here that I can click through. And I saw, Joe, I saw your chat post earlier. Nice, stunning graphics. Thank you. It's down to that Streamlabs software. So I just do myself some videos with photos and I put them in here, and I put our camera picture here with a background image. I thought that looks real neat and fulfills the purpose. So it's really, really great. And we're certainly going to do all the Brosnan ones. And that will be fun because I have a lot of behind the scenes pictures and information and trivia about all the films. And it was a fun era for Bond, starting with GoldenEye. I mean, it got Bond back to the cinema after a 6-year hiatus.
Yes.
And it made Bond relevant again. That was probably the most important thing. And we are now in the same situation. We have almost the same amount of time between Bond films than we had between License to Kill and GoldenEye.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's a good thing. Probably not.
Yeah. I mean,
so,
when we reach this point, can we actually? Well, I think we can openly talk about. I mean, you said some interesting things before about the possible future of Bond in general.
Yes. You want to hear that?
Yeah, I think we all would, yes. Because I was a bit surprised because I didn't follow it so much lately.
Well, from judging from the last 2 days, and especially yesterday when Apple launched its new iPhone Mini or something that can fit in the palm of your hand or something. I don't know. I don't pay attention to Apple because I don't like the company. I don't like the products and I don't use them. But what they chose to promote the... Oh, Yannick, Jorrit just wrote it. The iPhone 12 Mini. They used the Bond theme to open a lot of suitcases, like Samsonite suitcases, to reveal the iPhone 12 Mini. And you and I know that the Bond theme is never used, except they allow you to. And MGM is up for grabs, because the studio is in trouble since many years. We know that. They have financial troubles. So obvious. I would have bought them, but I don't have the money. That's my bad Trump impression.
No.
I just love it. I just love it.
I knew who you were referring to.
Yeah, and everybody at parties always wants me to do Trump.
Mm.
They either want me to do Trump or Hitler, which is incredibly almost related to each other.
Well, as long as you leave Christopher Walken where he is.
Oh yeah, my bad Christopher Walken impression. But you liked my Marlon Brando.
Oh yes, the Marlon Brando was spot on. Yeah.
Yeah. Think I get another martini. It's so hot in here.
It sounds. You know what I just noticed? It sounds like.
It sounds wrong.
It sounds like Roger Moore doing an impression of Tony Curtis.
It sounds like Roger Moore having a stroke.
Yeah, or that. So
What
carry
was I
on with the
talking
story.
about?
Sorry.
Oh, the iPhone sucks. Yeah, it does. That's why I don't have one. What I was about to say. So let's assume the situation: Apple buys MGM or buys into MGM and takes No Time to Die and puts it on Apple Plus streaming. Then we have our Bond film. Then we have No Time to Die on streaming service. Could happen. I don't see it happen. But in the long run, I see some entity taking over MGM. And I feel like Barbara Broccoli and Michael Wilson are losing interest in the Bond franchise. They are on their way out. Eon Productions has produced other films. They have said it's not their most their primary interest to do other films, but they did the Rhythm section, which was sort of a spy drama, and it was not successful. Bond, however, is successful, so why not stick with the Golden Goose? However, the Golden Goose is produced, but not in the cinema, because of COVID-19, obviously. This is something nobody could have anticipated. But from a certain point in the production of No Time to Die, I thought that they are closing a circle, coming back to Dr. No. Not the new Bond villain being Dr. No. I'm sort of off that train. But he has something to do with Dr. No. Or Dr. No is mentioned in the last minute of the new film. So that they can finally hop off that wagon of having to produce a Bond film every couple of years. I mean, Barbara Broccoli is still young, vibrant, and a very good producer. One of the most important figures in Hollywood, if you ask me. Very powerful. But does she have enough people behind her and enough producing power with MGM and stuff to put out Bond films on a constant basis? I don't think so. I think that chapter is going to end with the 25th film. If I'm proven wrong, great, wonderful. And the last news item that broke was they are not actively looking for a successor to Daniel Craig. I would have done. Because, hey, that's the Golden Goose. We need to keep the machine going, guys. But, nah.
But I think,
don't want to. Don't have the time. No, not to die.
I think you're not too far off with your theories, because it seems that the chat is largely agreeing with you on those predictions that you have.
Oh yeah, I can see it. This is the end.
Oh God.
Oh, sorry. Adele. Oh, that far off. Sorry. Only a good singer can sing bad.
No, I didn't say oh God because of your singing. I was saying because, again, referencing something with Daniel Craig, of course.
Yeah, sorry. But you have to always take the whole franchise into consideration.
Daniel Craig to me is not part of the Bond franchise. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay. Let's just leave it at
Peter
that.
says Barbara is 60. Well, that's no age today, right?
No, but funny enough, Michael is 72, and I happen to know a couple of people who are 72, and they look in much better shape than Michael G. Wilson does. I mean, in sort of a couple of the last shots, he looked really, I don't want to say sick, but he didn't look good.
No. Joe says, I think Babs and Michael would rather have root canal than make another Bond film.
Yeah.
I don't know what's worse. I had both. Well, one. if you count documentaries.
Have you produced a Bond film without me knowing?
No, my own, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Back in the day, that shitty piece of 45-minute
No. Don't
fan
slay
film
that. No.
shit.
No.
But I don't know. I would like it to go on
Mm-hmm.
with a different actor, and I get this question a lot: who's going to be the next actor? Because most of the people who ask that question to me read things in the yellow press and say they've picked Idris Elba and what else, Henry Cavill, things like that. And yeah, it's things that the yellow press stirs up. But if they are looking for a new 007, they would do the same as they did with Dalton and with Brosnan and with Moore. They look for reasonably, I don't want to say unimportant, but unknown, relatively unknown people. I mean, Roger Moore was known in the TV landscape. Pierce Brosnan was known as Remington Steele and stuff, but they fit the role. Daniel Craig, have you heard of Daniel Craig before 2006?
I did, yes.
You did, okay.
Because
I didn't.
he appeared.
I didn't. I had no idea.
He appeared in some major movie roles, like Road to Perdition, for instance.
Okay, but I didn't notice him there. I didn't see Road to Perdition until after Casino Royale.
That's right.
To be honest, because I mean I'm into mafia films, but somehow I wasn't into that one because it was rather dark.
It is a weird one. Yes, it's not one of my favorites as well. Yes.
It's rather dark film, and I mean I like to see Tom Hanks
as Bond.
He's not as Bond in Road to Perdition.
Okay.
In Road to Perdition, he is a really good actor who transports emotion.
Yeah.
And in Road to Perdition, when he holds on to the side of that car and the rain is coming down and it's dripping off his head, Tom Hanks is just a person like that who just sinks his head down and transports emotion through that. Have a Daniel Craig do that. I mean, yeah, the answer on your side is yeah, I know. But I mean, Pierce Brosnan, if you have Pierce Brosnan on the other side, I don't believe in all the roles he plays. He plays a suave spy.
Yes.
Like in GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. Maybe a bit too slick.
Nah.
I like it a bit more Fleming-esque. Like they really get dirty and into business and they get bloody and they get beaten up. Brosnan was too clean most of the time. Now in retrospect, back then I loved it. Now in retrospect, he is too clean for me.
Couldn't agree. But which roles did you refer to or did you allude to that you didn't find believable?
Pierce Brosnan?
Yes.
Mamma Mia, for example.
Well, okay. Well, oh, yeah.
It was bland. It was just.
Oh, but I just think it.
Grey Owl.
Yes, but I think he pulled it off in other instances. I loved him in The Butterfly Effect.
Yeah, that's true. Thomas Crown.
Yes, Dante's Peak as well. I really believed him.
Yeah, Dante's
scientist.
That was more action-like film, but in terms of transporting emotion and really showing the whole scale an actor can portray.
Yes. Yeah.
There is a limit. But I wouldn't say that he is a typecast kind of person. But the Thomas Crown Affair is a film that certainly stands out. It was fantastically done. A fantastic film I love until today. I have to watch it soon again because I really love it. I saw it in the cinema when it came out. And that role of the slick and suave art thief, that was right down his alley.
Definitely.
I mean, besides Steve McQueen in the original film, I could have seen no other person playing that.
That's right.
No other person. But on the other hand, I could not have seen Anthony Hopkins playing Alec Trevelyan.
Not at all, no.
But okay, we have been confronted with that material with the Bond films so long that when we hear who else auditioned for this and that part, we just cannot imagine them in it.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
No.
That's right.
Alan Rickman as Alec Trevelyan. I mean, Alan Rickman, fantastic baddie in all the films he played. Gone too soon, Alan Rickman, sadly. Especially with his deep voice and stuff.
Yes.
But I mean, overused as a villain, probably.
Probably, yes. And to me,
Sean Bean is now overused as well.
yeah. Well, to me, Alan Rickman will always be Hans Gruber. So.
Yeah. So you have to excuse me for a moment because I really have to go to the loo.
Okay.
So,
Just
if you want, interact with the chat. I'll be back in a couple of seconds because I'm really fast.
what?
I'm really fast.
Yes.
And I need to get another martini because I like what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Be back in a second, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm speaking into the headphones.
Okay. Well, that's what 7 martinis do. Yeah. Well, so obviously, I'd like to go back to GoldenEye. I'm just trying to think of something because before we started this live session or this watch along, we went over through a few things that we would like to address, and Ben took some notes, and I took some notes, things that we wanted to interject, and I just trying to think of something I forgot, especially in regards of something that I wanted to bring up was actually the beard from Checky Cario from Mishkin, which is a very special sort of beard. I've never seen something like it prior to that movie, no, after that movie. It's just really that special beard that just goes so far behind and that sort of almost triangular shape. Just wanted to throw in some credit there. Yeah, almost a goatee, yeah. And actually, I did a podcast once when I reviewed GoldenEye in terms of the music, and we had to talk about the car chase earlier, where a lot of you said that it sounds like Super Mario or any game track or something like that. I actually quite enjoyed it, really.
Awful weather.
I hated it in the beginning, but then it started growing me. But still, is very daring. I was just talking about Mishkin. I just wanted to. There's something I've missed. That's one of the things I wanted to interject real quick because I think the beard of Mishkin doesn't get enough love. I never seen a beard like that before or after GoldenEye.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's quite a weird beard.
Yeah, a triangular shape that goes very far back, and yeah.
Wasn't Checky Cario also in one of the Die Hard films?
No, he was in Bad Boys.
Oh yes, Bad Boys. Exactly.
And that he did a really Bad Boys 1 it was, and wow, he played such a bad guy in there.
He was a good friend of Michael Lonsdale.
Oh, there we go. Recently passed away, yes.
Yeah. Sad. Loved him.
Yeah. Have you ever met him?
No, sadly, didn't. No, would have loved to do some of the event of the French Bond Club, but didn't. Never got round to it.
Mm-hmm.
But he was a big name to get to start with.
Yes, of course, yeah, absolutely.
But what he did, Day of the Jackal. Fantastic film. Also something I would put in the lines of GoldenEye in terms of thriller. I mean, Day of the Jackal was, of course, a political thriller. GoldenEye is not. But to me, GoldenEye is political in terms of collapse of the Soviet Union. You know, as the first Bond film that was made after the collapse of the Soviet Union, and had a lot of freedoms, like filming in St. Petersburg, and I mean, every Bond film was forbidden in Russia before that time. And you know the stories about Octopussy when they filmed in Berlin and the Berlin Wall and stuff. And still in 1994 when they shot GoldenEye, there were about 150 permits to get just to shoot in St. Petersburg.
I find it quite an interesting move when talking about the script of GoldenEye that they decided to do the first couple of scenes in the Cold War era and then post-Cold War era. I mean, they could have done it all in the post-Cold era setting.
They could have.
Yeah. It was an interesting move to just interject that.
Yeah. And time jumping in general.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if that was such a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But and also the fact that Trevelyan says with the Cossacks and everything, and his parents were killed by the Russians, that make him 65 years old.
Yeah.
To have lived that story.
That's right.
I mean, he doesn't look like 65.
Not really, no.
So these are the tiny little points. It's not when you look at a scene too long. It's when you make up your mind about the plot that is being presented to you.
Mm-hmm.
That some of the things don't fit. But however, I mean, you have that in every Bond film.
We just talked about that briefly. The dams, or all the pre-credit scenes. I mean, we briefly addressed it that it doesn't really make sense with the dam and the connection to the platform and the runway and everything like that. But we just talked, and also in the first scene there's no snow, then there is snow. I'm just still baffled that, I mean, if this was a student film, I mean, who would care? But such a big budget productions with so many people overseeing it, has nobody at any point go like, guys, this doesn't really connect? It's sort of weird.
Yeah. Did you know that the East German GDR, German Democratic Republic of what? German Democratic Republic,
Yeah.
not of. Okay. For those of you who don't know, on not the knowledge of German history, when Germany was divided in two parts by the Berlin Wall, the German Democratic Republic soldiers were actually trained by watching Bond films.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not a well-kept secret because they started telling everybody, and certainly the newspapers. But they watched a lot of Bond films, and their view, the Western view on how Russia is like, especially Octopussy, when you have the general explaining his plan, and you have this big map and stuff. And, bad General Orlov and stuff like that. They showed it to the East German army and said, yeah, this is what the West would most likely do. They would send an agent, highly skilled and trained, and then they tried to train accordingly. Ridiculous.
That's interesting, because I think just 2 or 3 days ago I read there was an article that sort of debunked myths about spies in general, and debunked it. And of course there were many references to James Bond, like things like they said that an actual spy was allowed to have contact with family and so on and so forth, and they don't engage in confrontation and just outside work so much, really. So it's really much happens in an office and so on, and so it's really completely the opposite. Is it really? James Bond comes down to be complete make-believe. Would you believe?
Of course, of course. I mean, when you look at the security services of the UK and Germany and Spain and France or whatever, this is mainly an office job. It's not like they go out on highly exciting missions or whatever and live the high-style spy lifestyle that Bond leads in the films. This is a total misconception.
Yeah. Also, there's no such thing like a license to kill, or generally they seldomly wear guns to any place.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there have been, when you dive into the story, and I recently saw a documentary about, again, if you know it, you know it. If you don't, you don't. When Germany had a problem with terrorism on our own soil with the Red Army faction, the RAF, who killed politicians and kidnapped politicians to extort their fellow members from prison. We had a lot of that from 1975 onwards, which is called the German Autumn. And I recently saw a documentary which is on Netflix, also available in English subtitles, I think. It's about the killing of the Treuhand chef. Back then, this was the company to dissolve East German assets after the reunification. And he was killed in his private home, in his office, second floor window, which was not shot-proof, didn't have bulletproof glass, but the first floor had. And they blamed it on 3 different people. It was either the Red Army faction or it was the Stasi that had a grudge, still an open grudge after the reunification, or it was an unknown entity who just did it for money. And it's still unsolved until today. But the East German intelligence sector was really well developed. And certainly the Stasi files and everything. I mean, if they could, they would probably have a file on Martin Campbell. Even if there is nothing interesting in it.
Yeah.
It's just the name pops up once, like shot a film in Berlin, and this is filed.
Yeah.
No matter if you need it again or not. But in any case, if at one stage it is cross-referenced, the name will come up again. That's how intelligence agencies work, cross-referencing information with other information. Yeah. And this is certainly something the UK intelligence does best. I mean, after the Israeli and Mossad, probably comes MI6. I mean, the Mossad is violent in the way they do things. And we've seen that on German soil after the Olympic attack in Munich, where my mother worked in 1974, when Palestinians kidnapped or threatened part of the Israeli Olympic team. And we, had our first appearance of our anti-terror unit, the GSG-9. And the Mossad, for the killing of Israeli sports athletes, they sent their agents to seek revenge. They did a bloody good job, which was done in the film Munich, also starring Daniel Craig and Michael Lonsdale as well. So internationally, you have to shape up if you want to protect your country, especially in the times we live in now. Worse than in 1995 when you had GoldenEye in the cinema. I mean, that was just the collapse of the Soviet Union, and nobody knew how to treat Russia and the Soviet Union. But today, you have totally different parties entering the scene. We have a totally different battlefield, and that's rather dangerous, I think. And going too much political here, but
let's come back to GoldenEye.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd love to.
What I was wondering, so we said that GoldenEye has its flaws, but still, at least it's the movie that brought you to the James Bond franchise. Now, of course, you only watched it superficially tonight, but what does GoldenEye mean to you nowadays? How does it still hold up to you?
For me, it's straight entertainment. If I want to be entertained for 2 hours and I want to have good thrills and very well-made action sequences, stunt sequences, certainly the Brosnan films are the ones I turn to, because everything that came after that, with the exception of Casino Royale, which is a film I really like very much, because it has so many layers, but then it went into that story arc and this psychological thing at Bond's past. I don't want that. I look at it, but initially inside myself, I reject it as a storyline.
Yes.
I want a 2-hour action film with a singled out story that provides me with escapism. That's what I want.
Right.
From any movie. It doesn't have to be Bond exclusively. It can be a Netflix series, whatever. Nowadays, many Netflix series do that very well. And even if it's, sorry to say, Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, I watch that. If it's 20-minute cartoon escapism, which is well made and it has to do with dinosaurs, I'll watch it. Of course. Because inside of me, there lives a 15-year-old child that likes to watch these things. Why not? But then there is the older self that likes to watch a film like Casino Royale, which is very multi-layered. and shows a different side to Bond, and then there's another one that likes Pierce Brosnan.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's just 2 hours of straight entertainment.
Mm.
And I don't need to worry about anything. Everything's there.
That's right.
Humor.
Yes.
Humor. All the way through the Brosnan films. In the Craig films, humor is like Parmesan that you carefully sprinkle over your spaghetti.
Well, it's pretty bad Parmesan.
Yeah, but you rarely taste it.
Yeah.
It's very nearly there.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing that I have a problem with.
Mm-hmm.
And then I rather go back to a Moore Bond film.
That's right. Yeah.
As silly as they might be, or Diamonds Are Forever, as silly as it might be. I remember the last time I watched Diamonds Are Forever, it was with my best friend Sarah, who just got married, and her favorite film is Live and Let Die.
Mm-hmm.
So I will sing that next year at her wedding. Spoiler alert. So she knows what she's talking about. And we watched Diamonds Are Forever, and we laughed our butts off. Seriously. Because that film, from start to finish, is one whole show of its travesty.
Yeah.
I mean, there is no real plot to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's absolutely ridiculous, but it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, if I want to see a drama, I watch Out of Africa.
Exactly.
But if I want to have 2 hours of entertainment, I watch Diamonds Are Forever.
Mm-hmm.
Simple as that.
Mm.
Shirley Bassey would agree.
At least in something.
Yeah. And she's a bit of a... She's difficult.
Yeah, you told me that a couple of times, and it seems like, you know, in interviews, and she's done quite a couple of them, she always seems so joyful and nice and approachable and cool. But then again, there are the stories.
Yeah, on the red carpet, she has 6 guys protecting her,
Mm-hmm,
I think.
mm-hmm.
And even when I remember at the Spectre World premiere, I was next to the press corps.
Mm-hmm.
And we had these wristbands and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and we were let in according to who was there first.
Mm-hmm.
And who was there first was let in next to the press corps, and then they filled up the compartments that they had, going from down the Albert Hall to up the Albert Hall.
Mm-hmm.
And I was down where every of the stars came by, and Shirley Bassey came by in a wonderful dress, and everybody kept screaming, Shirley, Shirley, just a photo, just a signature. And she was like, And her bodyguards were like shielding her off, but there was nobody reaching out a hand or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like they wanted to touch her, but the bodyguards were like shielding her. No other VIP on that evening had a personal bodyguard shielding them off.
Okay.
And I thought that was really strange. I mean, okay, no problem.
Yeah.
She's Shirley Bassey. She can do whatever she wants. I don't care.
Yeah, I just don't know these artists. You know, it's the same like something we briefly mentioned, like the same with Famke Janssen, who some people said that in you know, in these conventions and stuff, like she really seems like bored and not really there, and downright I wouldn't want to say nasty, but just, you know, she appears like she doesn't want to be there in the first place.
Odd.
Yeah.
Odd. Just odd. Odd. Well, okay, they might all have their reasons. Let's not bitch about them. They might all have their reasons.
No. It's okay.
Maybe one day I'm like that.
No, it's if they rush by, or if it's anything like that. But if you are there, and I mean, we don't have to kid about this. These conventions cost a lot of money, and you always have to pay to get photos and signatures, and then you act like a total. Let's replace the word I was saying. A total blender. When people pay to engage with you and stuff like that, and you act like you wouldn't even want to be there. I don't let that slip through, honestly.
Sure, absolutely. And what dampens down the mood on me, like when Diana Rigg died,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I never met her. It's really difficult to explain. When Honor Blackman died, I did a tribute video. It's on my channel. When Diana Rigg died, who, like Honor Blackman, did the Avengers, equally famous movie star, but I didn't make her a video tribute because she didn't sign for Germans.
Okay, and why is that?
She openly hated Germans. I don't know, but Wolfgang, you know,
Yes.
vice president of the German Bond Club, he was in London, I think, for a theatre performance by Diana Rigg, and he was in the theatre play, and afterwards at the stage door, and he wanted to get her autograph, and he has a German accent, and he spoke to her and even brought her flowers, and she said, "Are you from Germany?" And he said, "Yes, I am. I'm from Frankfurt." And she said, "Oh, I don't sign for Germans."
Okay. Wow.
And this happened with other people. I don't know, Wolfgang, you have to correct me later if the story I told is untrue, but that's how I remember it. And this happened with other people from Germany. They had the same experience. Once Diana Rigg learned that they were from Germany, she declined signing an autograph. She declined generally taking photos. But when you went through somebody living in Belgium, we have somebody in Belgium who is in the club, and you approached the management of Diana Rigg through a Belgian address, you got the autograph.
Okay.
Not the same person from a German address.
Andy just shared an interesting story. He said at a View to a Kill premiere, he politely asked Grace Jones for an autograph, and she said, "No, darling," and kicked him in the shin.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Grace Jones talking about weird characters.
Really? Well, Grace Jones. Speaking about Grace Jones, I don't know what to make of her. My mother had an album of her.
Okay.
That one with the I don't know, and it is the only LP cover I remember, with Grace Jones's head and sort of a motorway around her head, with cars going on it. I don't remember it very well, but Grace Jones recently had a documentary, Bloodlight and Balmy.
Okay.
Which is interesting. Was has her going back to her African roots and stuff. Incredible woman, but yeah, well, never meet your heroes.
Yeah, but I think you can tell by all her, appearance and everything and what she says, and also behind the scenes and interviews, she's quite an extraordinary character, generally speaking,
Of course. And I don't know how old she is now. Can you look up how old
Yes.
Grace Jones is now? She must be 70. She must be over 70.
72.
72.
But she held up nicely.
She's still doing concerts and stuff. I mean, wow. I mean, I know that generally black people have that gene. They look younger and more vibrant. They have very good singing voices, very good speaking voices. She certainly does.
Yes.
I mean, she is. I never saw her as quite of a diva. But if she does that kind of thing that Andy said, and A View to a Kill premiere, well, that must be 85, 86. Maybe she had a bad day. You never know.
Yeah, and I mean, when we're talking about GoldenEye, I mean, you could tell, for instance, when we're talking about Orumov, the actor, Gottfried John, German actor, you could tell when you watched his interviews and his making-ofs that he was genuinely a shy guy. I mean, he never did, or as far as I know, he never did big appearances and stuff. Of course, back in those days, conventions and stuff like that were not that big anyway. But he was genuinely a shy guy. He was not one to enjoy the spotlight. I mean, he was in many big productions, also Asterix and Obelix. And stuff like that, but you could just tell that he did not enjoy being among a lot of people because he was just shy, really. And that's another thing, but that is okay.
No, it's absolutely true. And the promotion tour for GoldenEye was really a struggle because they wanted Gottfried on board because he has such a prominent role in the film. And he said, oh, I'm not comfortable with that.
Yes.
I'm not comfortable with the media. I'm not comfortable being photographed all day and answer questions to reporters for the insignificant role that I have in the film. He said that towards a German news outlet. He said he has an insignificant role in GoldenEye, which he doesn't. His role is really significant.
Yeah.
But he didn't like that media attention. Maybe he would have liked it further down the road.
Yeah.
Today. Like Götz Otto, for example, who played Stamper in Tomorrow Never Dies. He loves being in the spotlight for being in a Bond film. He has done a lot of other stuff. He has done international films. And as he told to me personally, he works 50% in Germany, 50% outside of Germany. But he loves to be a member of the German Bond Club and to be invited to the Film Museum in Frankfurt and have a whole evening centered around his person. I mean, who wouldn't?
Yes.
Wouldn't you like to have a whole evening centered around you, Yannick Zenhäusern, in a Frankfurt Film Museum?
Of course, yeah.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, it's exactly what you say. I mean, when you talk to, we'll keep some of the stories for the Tomorrow Never Dies watch along, but just to sort of tease that, it's just what you say. He's so proud of it, and he's so yeah. And when I did the interview with him, he was so, yeah, of course, let's talk about Bond. I love, and he goes into great details about everything, and you can tell that he really enjoys. I mean, sorry, I hate just hate that those Bond people or former Bond people that go like, yeah, there was Bond, but I did other things. Yes, I know, but people know you for Bond, so don't make a big stink about it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, you can keep the story how you met Götz Otto for the Tomorrow Never Dies watch along, because it's a great story. I know it's a great story. Andy says, Benjamin, Diana was like this, sadly, with UK fans too. My sister saw her in play and asked for autograph on my behalf. No dice. Sadly, I thought she had something against Germans. I don't know. Maybe her parents had a bad experience with Germans. Maybe she had as a kid.
Yes.
I mean,
must have been something like that. Yeah, some war stories or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of have history.
You
cannot. No, I mean, the Bond films never touched that history, did they?
Second World War?
Yeah.
No, not directly in references sometimes, but not directly, no.
No, not really.
Something I wanted to ask, maybe you, Benjamin, and as well in the chat, about Judi Dench. I mean, that's also a character that really fascinates me because, again, in recent years, she did a lot of those funny videos with, I think, some of her relatives, the Ice Bucket Challenge, and in interviews like with Graham Norton and Jonathan Ross, she always seems so upbeat and funny and so on. But then again, I think meeting her in person, again, is a whole different story again.
I wouldn't know because I missed her.
Okay.
It was that one time in London. It was 2013. I remember quite fondly. It was the first time I was in London together with Alain, my dear friend from Paris, who is a great treasure trove of knowledge about John Barry's music and music in general, especially for the Bond films. And we met in London in 2013 after we chatted a long time on the internet, and we went to see the play. It's all over there. I can't even point the camera to you. But Peter and Alice, a play with Dame Judi Dench and Ben Whishaw, which was about Peter Pan and Alice in Wonderland, the creation of the characters and the people behind it. And the natural thing that you do is after the play you go around to the stage door, which you've scouted before through Google Maps when you're not a Londoner. And we went there, and Ben Whishaw came out and took photos, and I forgot to ask him to sign my photo that I brought because I was all like, oh, it's Ben Whishaw, it's Q from the Bond films. And then I came back and touched his shoulder because there were a lot of people, and he took a lot of time, and that's a good thing. I like that
Mm-hmm.
because we are practically paying their rent. Don't ever forget that.
Mm-hmm.
We are paying their rent by
Yes.
buying cinema tickets and theater tickets and whatever. And he took, I think, 45 minutes to speak to fans, to take photos. And I tapped his shoulder and said, I forgot to take a picture with you. Can we take a picture together? And we did.
Oh, lovely.
And at that time, Judi Dench, who knew her way around stage doors, she went out the front and escaped us all.
Okay.
It's funny.
What?
It's very clever.
James Bond Netherlands just wrote that they met Judi Dench near the end carpet for Casino Royale. Such a lovely lady who takes time for fans. Well, I think that's another case. Like really with Judi Dench is just like you said. Sometimes you just want to get home where you don't always feel like interacting with a lot of people. That makes sense. That's understandable, I think.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. I mean, at one point of the day, if you have done 2 theater performances and you
Yes.
just want to get home, and I mean, I have had many run-ins with stars. A lot. Especially in London, whether it was in some theater or the Royal Festival Hall or the Royal Albert Hall, don't care. Andrew Lloyd Webber passed me by. He was in a hurry. He wanted to probably get some food, whatever. I stood next to Brian May, who was kind of erratic, and I didn't want to ask him for something because he's a towering height, even minus the hairstyle. He is quite large, and when that person is erratic and just wants a bite, you just don't want to ask them for an autograph or something.
No.
And then there was the interview with David Arnold, where we just both pretended that we had fun. But I was so unprofessional. Sorry, David, if you're ever going to see this watch along. I was so unprofessional because this was my first celebrity interview with film composer David Arnold, and I completely cocked it up.
That wasn't that bad.
But cut it in the end that it looks like we both had fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, at the end of the day, we're eating the soup with the same spoon, and we go to the same toilet.
That's right.
So
another thing, of course, is Pierce Brosnan himself. I mean, I was actually really astonished that he did that GoldenEye watch along because I felt, of course, there's that whole story with him having been booted from the Bond franchise when he really was supposed to do Casino Royale, which he didn't get to do. And you can still see when, in hindsight, when he talks about in that period when he was just booted, it really must have been a kick to the curbs, like he said, like he said it himself. But still, as of today, I think in very few instances he enjoys talking about Bond. Many times you can really see almost his face dropping or morphing into something when the topic of Bond comes up, which I always find it's frustrating to me to see because I think he did such a great job. And one thing that sticked out to me is when he did that Jimmy Fallon thing when they in the end they played GoldenEye, the N64. You can clearly see when he brings up Bond that he already gets pissed and said, "Oh, here we go." He doesn't say it, but you can tell by his facial expression. He goes like, "Oh, okay, here we go, Bond." And then Fallon mentions that he has all the Bond movies multiple times, and you can just see Brosnan going like, like it's. I find it such a pity.
It's true. I mean, quite frankly, Brosnan would have not fit in Casino Royale.
I agree. No, not the way it was done. No.
No, not the way the script was envisaged by the producers. He would not have fit that narrative. But I agree, the way he was booted out, and you can really use the term booted out, was wrong. It was unprofessional. But I don't know if his tenure wasn't overstretched. I mean, Die Another Day had really bad reviews, and if they would have gone on to make another production like Die Another Day with all that superficiality and the CGI and whatever, I mean, they needed a clean break. And probably this break will now happen again. And another Bond film could look totally different. I mean, you could see Bond as a gardener enjoying his retirement and whatever and feeding cats and ducks.
Yeah,
which wouldn't be very interesting.
and besides, you never. Well, we don't really know what went on behind the scenes. I mean, I mean, there's talks about money and stuff like that, and I wasn't aware of this until you mentioned it today when we did the briefing of the watch along, where you said that he did this boycott of the French premiere of GoldenEye. I mean, when I heard that, I thought, wow, that's a pretty bold move. I mean, he was Bond for the first time. He was just fresh in this role. And it was, of course, he had his contracts for the upcoming movies. But I think that's quite a bold move to go. And he once said that, I think it was for Die Another Day, when he sort of stipulated that he wanted an Aston Martin as a for free and stuff like that. And these things, when I hear these things, I think like, well, I think he was demanding too. So maybe those things, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Maybe there went on a lot of things that we never heard about that
Sure.
came into play in the final decision.
Of course.
Well,
Yeah. I think in his decision to not attend or boycott the French premiere, he was right. Because I remember very well the media reports at that time when the French were doing nuclear tests in Mururoa or wherever it was. Well, that was 98. They did it in French Polynesia or something before that. And I know Pierce Brosnan is quite the activist, which is a good thing. And if you believe in something, it doesn't matter if you just started a new job at a new company, whether it is Eon Productions and you're the new James Bond. But if you believe in something, I think you should stand up for it.
I still think it's bold.
Of course it's bold, but we need boldness. I mean, not boldness in a way a Greta Thunberg displays, which I'm not a fan of, I have to say frankly. But what would I compare it to? I don't know. I have nothing to compare it to. I'm not a vegetarian. I can understand people who don't eat meat and the reasons why they don't eat meat, but I also can see the other side, that what they eat as an alternative takes away parts of the rainforest. So everything has an A and a B side, like a vinyl LP. So much of the things we discuss and we get into fights about is ridiculous because there is an A and a B side, and A and B don't fit together. It's like a magnet with opposing sides. Losing my English here.
Anyway, I just think it got, like, also the Aston Martin story. I just think that surely he was not, how do you say this in English? Wow, there we go. He was not like Fahne im Wind, flag in the. How do you say that?
What?
Fahne im Wind,
Flag in the wind?
Does that translate? Is that saying in English too?
I don't know. Is that a Swiss expression?
Well, it's a German expression as well. And Fähnchen im Wind.
Oh well, we're not supposed to put flags up. Yeah, they call us nationalists if we put our flag up.
Yeah. Oh, now we get it. Oh, yeah. Now it becomes interesting.
Yeah, it's true. I'm sorry.
But then again, it's right how it's pointed out in the discussion right now. Probably all the Bond actors except Roger Moore. Timothy Dalton is not particularly keen on talking about Bond. Sean Connery sure as hell isn't. Brosnan isn't. Seems the fate of a Bond actor.
Well, at least Brosnan is the only one who did a GoldenEye watch-along.
That's right.
As we did tonight. I haven't seen that of the other actors.
That's right.
I mean, Sean Connery is very old, and he earned his retirement. Not just because of Bond. He had a film career spanning many decades, and he did a lot of fabulous films.
That's right.
Apart from Bond, very good character actor. Timothy Dalton, of course, is a Shakespearean actor. I mean, and he is still very much famous.
Yeah.
I mean, he did Penny Dreadful. That was a great series. I loved that, also with Eva Green. And Timothy Dalton was really great in that. And at some points, I thought he could still be Bond.
Mm.
He could still pull it off. Just color his hair and he could still pull it off. The same I thought of Pierce Brosnan when he did that one film where he also played a spy with Mila Jovovich. I don't remember the name now. Help me out in the chat, please.
Is that November Man?
It might have been November Man. I thought if they offered another Bond film to him right now, the way he looks in that scene, he could pull it off.
Yeah.
Roger Moore passed away, sadly.
Yeah.
And, well, I don't know. What was the most recent film Pierce did?
Was it Spinning Man?
That was not the one with Jackie Chan.
No. That was The Foreigner. That's a little long. Wait, quickly look it up.
The Foreigner, because it was The Foreigner was actually bashed by critics, but I thought it was rather good.
It was a rather. I agree. Yeah. Oh, the most recent was Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh yes, that was fun. It was fun actually. I enjoyed it.
And Spinning Man, yes, Spinning Man was in 2018.
Oh yes, Eurovision Song Contest. Yeah, he spoke in Icelandic. That was neat. Sorry, I don't know another word for it. that was neat. Not like Björk neat, but neat.
Oh, Survivor was the one with Mila. Thank you, James Bond, Netherlands. That's right.
Song contest.
No.
Wouldn't you like to, off topic, wouldn't you like to represent Switzerland at the song contest? No? Why not?
Because I just detest the Eurovision Song Contest.
Why?
Because
because it's political. Yeah.
That is one reason, and just because the songs that came out of that in the last couple of years were just awful.
The last good song contest was 2006.
Which was that?
I don't remember, but there were good songs in 2006.
Yeah,
Some
but
of them
you must remember the songs if you talk about it.
Greece had Anna Vissi perform Everything, a song I did 3 times, I think, 2 times initially and 1 time as a re-recording, and I did a music video for it.
Mm-hmm.
Loved it. Loved the other songs. Netherlands always strong in the song contest. They have good songs but never win.
Okay.
Much like Germany.
and James Bond Netherlands just posed a question to you. What about you, Germany, Benny? Or you for Germany?
Me representing Germany in the song contest. That's gonna go horribly wrong.
Why?
I mean, nothing to lose. We always are in the last quarter of the scoreboard.
Mm-hmm.
It's something totally is something the Americans don't know about Eurovision Song Contest. I mean, they know now, and the Australians do, because they sort of went into the European Song Contest. I don't know why. European Song Contest. So when we won in 2019, that's true.
Well, keep reading. They're praising you. Look at that.
Yeah. The Italian River Deep Mountain High was perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It was hard to do. Did it in like 20 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
No, didn't. Yeah, it's fun because I'm actually preparing for a wedding next year, so I need to screen all the songs if they fit for the medley I'm trying to do, and sometimes I post stuff out. But the fun thing is, when you look at my profile, whenever I upload a video of me singing something, I am drunk. Remember that, people. Oh, silence. Thank you. Thank you.
What could I say to that?
I don't know.
Yes.
I can hear the silence is audible.
You could. Oh wow.
I don't know.
I
can sing Bond songs, however, because I sang it while you were playing the piano.
Yes, of course, I remember. Yes. Nobody does it better, was it right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Should we play it?
Play it.
I don't know if I can put it in here. If I can put it in here, I can put it in here. I know that I have the recording sessions we did. We did Live and Let Die and Nobody Does It Better.
Yes. both can't recognize when you hear them. Neither by it's sure as hell, but not by my playing.
I will not interrupt the live stream just to put it in here. I will weave it in here when we speak about something else.
Okay.
But I know I have the video and I will share it with you guys soon. Yeah, but I don't want to interrupt because I don't know what happens when I press the wrong button.
Yes. Oh, Peter.
better.
Bye, Peter.
Peter is out. Sleeping time in Mainz.
Mach het goed, jong, ne?
Bye, Peter.
Pierre. Now turning American. Pierre.
Peter, he's my boss actually. I work for him.
Pardon me?
Yeah, not many people know that. I work for him. I work for his company.
Really?
Yeah, I do his website.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah. It's mafia-like structures we have here.
Hardly.
Wow, that's going to be a live stream for people to download. Close to 4 hours. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's great. Oh, roll on. Tomorrow never dies.
Got to top them.
As long as you people have fun, we go on. I don't care. Are you still having fun? James Watt Netherland. Lol. What the fuck is an organist?
A guy who plays an organ?
Oh, yes. Sorry.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, true. Absolutely. Do you want to know a dirty secret? A dirty secret about my family.
Pardon me?
It's rather unfunny in the times we live in. But I can say it because my mother is deceased. She's sort of dead.
Sort of.
So now she's really dead. But she studied partly she studied medicine, and I don't know if that is the correct term, virology, when you work with viruses and shit. And she studied at a very reputable German university in Marburg in 1971, 72 or something, shortly before she went to the Olympic Games. And oh god, they had a lot of deadly viruses in that university. They had the Ebola virus, they had the Marburg virus, and they had the Lassa virus.
Oh wow.
Which all can induce a pandemic. And at one day, she had a really bad day. I think the dog was just run over by a truck or something, because my mother and my father had a dog and he was run over by a truck. And I think it was that day she went to the office and she dropped a vial of a Lassa virus.
Wow.
True story. Honest to God, true story. She told it, my grandmother always repeated it, how stupid her daughter was. She dropped a Lassa virus, which could have been deadly to the entire human race.
Wow.
But actually, reference to Moonraker, they had a similar chamber like in Moonraker, which had a closing door, which blew up a protective rubber thing. And then there came this succulent air that sucked all of it out of around her. But she really dropped a Lassa virus, one of the most dangerous viruses in the world.
What an upbeat bedtime story.
Yeah, she didn't become a doctor in the end.
Oh.
No. She became a psychologist.
Oh, okay.
Sounds like a Bond film, James Bond. Yeah, but it's an absolutely true story. Sorry. I mean, I loved my mum, but that could have ended us.
What?
So, whose mum was it? How are the numbers in Switzerland, by the way?
Quite badly.
Rising?
Yeah, they're rising. I think I just read today that Germany has put a couple of more cantons on the red list.
Oh, bollocks.
Yeah. And now also at work we have to start to wear protective masks, which is really I hate it.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's just when you wear glasses, it's really they fog up all the time. It's really.
I know it from summer, from sunglasses.
Yeah. No, it's really well.
Yeah, well, thank God we have live streams like that to keep us through what promises to soon be a second lockdown.
Yeah.
In Germany, we're certainly going towards it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, really?
After, yeah, they had a night of discussion, an afternoon and evening of discussion with Angela Merkel yesterday and the day before. And the news outlets couldn't report anything because they were debating until late at night what is right and what is not. And there are odd things. So
Okay.
you can live in Bonn and you can go to Cologne to work, but you can take part in a conference with 250 people, but you cannot sleep in a hotel room for one.
Yeah.
On your own. That is not allowed. That's strange. And they tried to find a unison agreement, which they didn't. And but the overall guideline is we all need to pull on one string to stay clear of a second lockdown.
But if you say you're steering towards a second lockdown, would that be over the whole republic or just certain areas?
The whole.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that would sorry YouTube, if you want to block me. That would fuck up the whole entire economy.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything. Every single sector. I mean, if I go into the inner city now, there is nothing. Shop closing after shop. The big ones, they have all closed. The big chains that we have, the big department store stores, they have all closed. Restaurants closed.
Yeah.
My e-smoker shop, by the way, I'm sorry if I'm smoking the e-cigarette. It's healthier than normal cigarette. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry.
Yeah.
No COVID. No COVID from that. Seriously, great. Love it. I know all of them. I'm an expert. They close, so I have to order everything online, which destroys the little shops that are still open, but I can't get it from anywhere else. And yeah, well.
Yeah, and it's what you say. I mean, if you think about it, all the like I said, restaurants, little shops, and so on, who hardly survived the first lockdown, they will surely fall with the second one, and that's a lot of them.
Yep, absolutely.
And then imagine one day when you reopen everything, probably half or 3/4 of all the shops and restaurants will be gone.
Yep.
I mean, sorry to draw that analogy, but it's almost like after a war.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yep. And James Bond, Netherlands has only inside public areas here. That's probably wearing the mask. There is that one city where Germany borders Netherlands. I don't know what the German side is called, but the other side is Kerkrade. And there is just a street dividing them. And on the other side, they have to stay indoors. And on the German side, they can still walk around.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. And I mean, sorry, but you know, I know that people still want some of the freedom, but what I really can't fathom, and I don't know how it's Germany, maybe you can tell me, but here in Switzerland, we have a great problem simply because of one case, because young folk are going into clubs, they're dancing, they're sitting close together and such and so on. And this really makes me mad. I mean, we have to wear, bloody masks at work, and the numbers are rising because of young folk who cannot think reasonably. They have to be together, they have to be close, they have to be dancing, everything. And it's largely to them why in Switzerland at least, in certain parts of Switzerland, it's largely because of them why the numbers exploded. And you see them on trains, and when the conductor comes by, they put the mask on. As soon as he's gone, they take it off, and that's just makes me really angry.
Yep, carelessness.
Yep. Selfishness and carelessness, yes.
Yep. We have quite nice Bond masks here.
Okay.
That's quite one of the first funniest I saw was Living Daylights, because in German it's a totally different name, as you know.
Yes.
The German title, Der Hauch des Todes, translates to the breath of death.
Yes, right.
So if you have that written on your mask, and especially No Time to Die, it raises some eyebrows.
With some
Roger
questions.
Moore eyebrow coming in.
Yeah.
I can't do the Roger Moore eyebrow. Can you do it?
Oh, wait a second.
He only does one eyebrow. It's really difficult.
Can you do both? I can only do
No,
one.
no, not with the amount of martini I drank.
Yeah, well, you can hardly move the mouth. Never mind the eyebrow.
Yeah, it's rather difficult. Okay, people, 11:30 in Germany.
Mhm.
In America, it's probably late afternoon or something. We would love to chat more with you, but we have to go to bed. I have to train horses tomorrow.
And I have to go to work. Yeah.
You have to go to work tomorrow. So we would rather slightly like to sign out.
Yes.
And would like to schedule another watch along with you, which is Tomorrow Never Dies. I don't know, Yannick, are you available next week?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Should we make it the same day?
Let me check. This is all live.
Check.
Let me check real quick. I can figure that out.
Check your calendar. Check your calendar real quick.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. 11.
That would be
Andy, I'm so sorry.
the 22nd.
It's the worst Scottish accent I can come up with.
22nd. I just checked the calendar. I think that should work.
11.
What? 11?
11.
I want a 22nd. No, looks good.
Try an English accent. You're just saying it the same way.
Look, what?
Sorry. Nothing. Oh, now I have 3 olives for a quarter of martini. Horrible. Horrible. So, are you free next Thursday?
Yes, that works.
8 o'clock.
Yes.
Great.
Yep.
Then, next Thursday, come back, see us for Tomorrow Never Effing Dies. I'll hit out the poster right away, or tomorrow morning, I don't know, because I have it prepared.
That's very nice.
Same time, 8 o'clock, because I think this worked brilliantly. And I will prepare all the behind-the-scenes images for Tomorrow Never Dies, which is a fantastic film, by the way. Love it. Always used it to test my new speakers.
It's a great film.
Sequence.
Yeah, a lot of stories to tell as well. Yeah.
And the week after that, we watch No Time to Die, because I have a copy of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, just wait for the reactions from the chat. No, I don't. Okay, thank you guys for joining us for this GoldenEye watch along. It was surely a pleasure.
Yeah.
We're at how long did we stream actually? 3 hours and 47. Good God. You can watch it all again if you like. You can see me get drunk and Yannick bash me over the head.
Drank.
Like Daniel Craig. And next week we're going to have Tomorrow Never Dies.
Yeah.
Same time, same place. See you then.
Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.